Good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday, May 20th, 2026 meeting of the Board of Trustees at Joliet Junior College in the boardroom. At this time, I'd like Karen to call to the order.
Trustee Bottomley.
Here.
Trustee Broderick. Trustee Garcia again. Trustee Harris.
Here.
Trustee Lee. Trustee Morales.
Here.
Trustee McCollum.
Present.
Trustee Bazinski.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Item 1.1.3, the Pledge of Allegiance. And tonight I'm going to ask Mr. Pat Van Dyne to lead us in the pledge. Item 1.2, Communications. Robin Beller.
Good evening, Dr. Namuo, Chairman Bazinski, JJC Trustees, and the community. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to recognize graduation this past Friday. It was a wonderful celebration for our students and all that they've accomplished, and I want to thank the trustees and everyone who attended and helped make it such a meaningful and special day for everybody. This evening, it's my pleasure to introduce Jackie from the Workforce Development Manager at Constellation. She's spent the last 12 years building strong connections between education and industry. Jackie's been a key partner to JJC, working closely with our Advanced Integrated Maintenance Program and the Chris Crane High School to Work initiative to create meaning pathways for students into energy and advanced manufacturing careers. Through this partnership, Constellation is not only expanding access to STEM learning, but also turning that learning into real opportunities for our students. She'll talk about that today. We've already begun seeing the impact of that work take shape. We're grateful for Constellation's continued investment in our students and especially in this community. Please join me in welcoming Jackie.
Hi, everyone. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak with you today. At Constellation, we believe that strong communities and a strong energy workforce go hand in hand, and JJC has been an incredible partner in helping us bring our vision of a clean energy future to life. We've been proud to provide multiple grants that have expanded access to STEM learning opportunities, including JJC's summer STEM camps, the mobile planetarium, and Polished Pebbles support. These initiatives spark curiosity and inspire the next generation to see themselves in science, technology, and energy careers. Our partnership really comes to life through workforce development, specifically the dual enrollment Advanced Integrated Maintenance, or AIM program, connected to our Chris Crane High School to Work program. We work closely with JJC faculty members Jeff Bradford and Paul Cave, as well as leaders from Joliet Township High School, Wilco, and GAVC to execute a direct, structured pathway from high school into careers in energy and advanced manufacturing. Last fall, JJC expanded enrollment from 24 to 36 students to meet demand, a testament to both the quality of the program and the strong student interest in these career pathways. The students participate in monthly mentorship sessions with Constellation employees, aligned to the nationally recognized Skills USA framework, focusing on communication, work ethic, initiative, and more, site tours and job shadowing opportunities at our clean energy centers, and scholarships and paid internship opportunities as they continue their education at JJC in either the PCIT, EEAS, OET, or IMT programs. This week, we actually have 5 students at our Braidwood and Dresden locations job shadowing the different maintenance and operations departments. This summer, Constellation will have 10 interns from the Chris Crane High School to Work program, 5 continuing into their second year of internship, and 5 new interns from cohort 2. Between the specific pipeline program and our other technical internships, Constellation has hired a total of 14 interns from JJC's technical programs this summer. If that isn't exciting enough, we also hired 6 JJC alumni from the graduating classes of 2025 and 2026 into full-time positions as union maintenance or operations technicians, and they all start within the next month. One of those new hires is Luke Merritt. Luke is a soon-to-be graduate of JJC's Operations and Engineering Technician program and was a member of our first Chris Crane High School to Work cohort. He is our first full-time hire from the program and starts as an equipment operator at our LaSalle Clean Energy Center in just a few weeks. Luke is a perfect example of what this partnership is designed to do: create sustainable career pathways through secondary, post-secondary, and corporate collaboration that support both individual success and our region's economic vitality. We're excited to continue this momentum with another 36 AIMS students launching Cohort 3 this fall. In addition to career pathways, our partnership is also expanding into broader community challenges, particularly in early childhood education and childcare access. Constellation has been actively involved with the Advancing Grundy Child Care Committee to help address the critical childcare gap in our region. In Grundy County, there are 2,600 children under the age of 6 that have all parents working. However, Grundy County only has 13 total licensed child care centers or licensed in-home businesses. In comparison, Will County has 235. To help address this, Constellation, along with multiple community partners, has begun conversations with Melissa Sinchek and Becky Caldwell from JJC's Child Care Development Program to explore opportunities like public information sessions that increase awareness of early childhood education, workforce pathways, and available career resources. Just a few hours ago, I was at Will County CED's Small Business Symposium talking with Brian Kincaid from JJC's Entrepreneur and Business Center, who is excited to learn about and energized to join our collaboration in this space as well. Additionally, on behalf of Constellation, I recently joined Dr. Namuo as a board member of the Workforce Investment Board of Will County, where early childhood education remains a key focus. This is highlighted by the cross-regional collaboration between local workforce boards and JJC's Workforce Development Department, where JJC was awarded the Department of Labor's Registered Apprenticeship DCEO grant for early child care lead teacher and director certifications. Constellation and the Advancing Grundy team are also engaged in ongoing discussions around advocacy to ensure Grundy County receives equitable child care support, particularly when it comes to the State Child Care Assistance Program reimbursement rates, which is the per-day payment a child care provider will be paid when the parents work or attend school if the family falls in lower income brackets. Even though Morris is considered an urban area by the federal census, Grundy County is currently in the lowest reimbursement rate group, while surrounding counties like Will, Kankakee, and Kendall all receive higher rates. I wanted to share this today to raise awareness because child care challenges impact not just families, but also workforce participation and long-term economic growth. It's another example how partnerships like ours can bring visibility, solutions, and momentum to the issues that matter most in our communities. Constellation's partnership with JJC doesn't stop at the classroom or at career pathways. It extends into strengthening the full ecosystem that allows individuals, families, and communities to thrive. Because at the end of the day, workforce development is about more than jobs. It's about access, opportunity, and long-term community impact. With that, I want to extend my thanks to Dean West for the opportunity to highlight these initiatives today, and to all of you for your leadership and commitment to students and the community. I'm incredibly proud of what we accomplished together, and I'm even more excited about what's ahead. I'm happy to take any questions. I'll point at you with my foam finger.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 1.3 proclamations. The first one is 1.3.1, the Asian American and Pacific Islanders Heritage Month. Dr. Carl Brooks.
Members of the Board of Trustees and those in attendance at today's meeting, both physically and virtually. It gives me great pleasure to introduce JJC student Lester De Los Santos, who has graciously agreed to read the JJC proclamation, which recognizes the month of May 2026 as Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Before Lester reads the proclamation, I'd like to share a little bit about him. Lester is an international student from the Philippines who has been at JJC since fall 2024 and plans to apply to the nursing program. He works in groundskeeping, is a proud member of Phi Theta Kappa, and is a devoted husband to his wife Hannah and father to his daughters Juliana and Nicole. Fun fact, Lester loves photography and capturing the world through his camera lens. Please join me in welcoming Lester De Los Santos. Lester?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Proclamation. Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Whereas citizens of the Asian and Pacific Islander ancestry comprise a percentage of the residents of Illinois Community College, District Number 525. And whereas the contributions of the citizens of the Asian and Pacific Islander ancestry to the history and culture of the United States are invaluable and abundant. And whereas it is the goal of Joliet Junior College to provide its students with a comprehensive curricular and co-curricular educational experience with consideration given to the contributions of all socially identifiable groups within American history and culture. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Illinois Community College, District Number 525, Joliet Junior College, Counties of Will, Grundy, Kendall, LaSalle, Kankakee, Livingston, and Cook, State of Illinois, hereby proclaims the month of May as Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in Illinois Community College, District Number 525, adopted this 20th day of May 2026.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is 1.3.2, the Board of Trustee approval of June as LGBTQIA+ Pride Month proclamation. Dr. Escotina.
Good evening, Chairman Bazinski, members of the board, our community, our faculty, and our students. I have the honor of introducing our very own Abigail Camacho, who will be reading our LGBTQIA+ proclamation. Abigail is first-gen, Latina, queer, and a proud CMAS ambassador. Abigail is a 20-year-old Mexican-American student who is passionate about education, community involvement, cultural representation. She enjoys time outdoors, making music with friends, and playing games with loved ones. At Joliet Junior College, Abigail serves as president of Latino Unidos and actively participates in organizations such as Black Student Union and Sustainability Unit. Her positive energy and leadership makes her a valued presence in every space she enters. Help me in welcoming Abigail.
Whereas Joliet Junior College would like to officially recognize June as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, intersex, and asexual, LGBTQIA+ Pride Month to acknowledge and celebrate the history of those who have made and continue to make valuable contributions in our society and in ensuring progress and lasting equality for LGBTQIA individuals. Whereas June will act as a time of remembrance to honor historic and revolutionary events that occurred at the Stonewall Inn in June 1969, which laid the foundation for the ongoing equality movement in regards to LGBTQIA+ community. This month will serve as a time of personal reflection for the LGBTQIA+ community and their allies towards the effort, sacrifices, and victories of those individuals. Whereas June will be a time of celebration for the LGBTQIA+ community at Joliet Junior College for the progress made since Stonewall and the resilience and determination of the individuals in the LGBTQIA+ community for their continued efforts to raise awareness in regards to the needs of the LGBTQIA+ community and create improvement. Whereas during LGBTQIA+ Pride Month, we state our promise to uphold the freedom, dignity, and self-esteem of all individuals within this community and promise to dedicate ourselves to protecting them against all forms of discrimination, oppression, and hatred. LGBTQIA+ Pride Month reiterates that LGBTQIA+ rights are human rights, and Joliet Junior College stands with and will continue to support this community to accept nothing less than full equality. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Illinois Community College District Number 525, Joliet Junior College, counties of Will, Grundy, Kendall, LaSalle, Kankakee, Livingston, and Cook, State of Illinois, does hereby recognize and honor June as the LGBTQI+ Pride Month and will raise an LGBT+ Pride Month flag in celebration of its students and community. Adopted this day, 20th day of May 2026.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Next, I have the honor. Next, I have the honor to introduce our very own Wintley Thomas. He will be reading our Juneteenth proclamation. Wintley is a 20-year-old Black African-American student who enjoys telling jokes, listening to music, and playing volleyball. He brings vibrant energy and a strong sense of community everywhere he goes. After joining his first organization, H2O Hard Haven, Wintley developed his leadership skills and had opportunities to attend leadership conferences over the year. Whether participating in volleyball, open gym, or leadership events, he is known for creating a welcoming atmosphere and making others laugh with his signature corny dad jokes. Help me welcome with you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Proclamation, Juneteenth. Whereas Juneteenth is the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery in the United States, and whereas on June 19, 1865, Union soldiers led by Major General Gordon Granger landed at Galveston, Texas with the news that the war had ended and that the remaining enslaved blacks in Texas were now free. Nearly 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation and 2 months after the end of the Civil War. And whereas those words, our country changed, and we have continued to change, striving always to make it right and to make it better for all. And whereas, while these words created legal means to continue the fight for equality, equality remained a distant reality. And whereas, the observance of Juneteenth is about the journey of Black African Americans from a horrific period of enslavement to blessed freedom. And whereas, today, we celebrate the incremental progress with this resolution, recognizing and celebrating the moment the Emancipation Proclamation reached the last enslaved part of the Confederacy in Texas. Whereas, as we look back over, whereas Juneteenth celebrates pride, resilience, and determination that will always be historical and spiritual significance. As we look back over 150 years of progress, we honor those who have come before us, we remember those who lost their lives, and remember those who collectively paved the road to freedom. Whereas we pay tribute in this journey, we acknowledge many roles of contribution of Black spirit to our society. And we embrace the past and we embrace the future, something that only occurs with the unity and respect. And whereas Joliet Junior College celebrates Juneteenth and celebrates the freedom of Black people, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Illinois Community College, District 525, Joliet Junior College, countries of Will, Grundy, Kendall, LaSalle, Kankakee, Livingston, and Cook, State of Illinois, hereby recognizes and designates the 19th of June as Juneteenth Day in the Illinois community, College District number 525, and we will raise the Juneteenth flag in celebration of its studies, students, and community on the day of the 20th of May, 2026.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries.
You would please.
Item 1.4, approval of recognition of retirements. 1.4.1 is the approval of recognition of retirements for Tammy Carrasco, Joe Eccles, Susan Battis, Wayne Golick, Charles Gannett, John Kritz, John Larata, Christine O'Connor, Danny Thompson, Cheryl Upshaw, Tammy O'Malley, Sandra Wordlaw, Gary Clark, Denise Clark, and Deborah Goff.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Item 1.4.2, the recognition of retiree Sandra Wordlaw. Dr. Carl Brooks.
Well, unfortunately, Sandra was unable to join us today. She went through a full day of supporting orientation, and as I was told recently, she's pooped out today. For sure. Understandably so. We will miss her tremendously. Her director provided me some comments that I'll share. Sandra has been with JJC for nearly 22 years and began her current role as the student onboarding and new student advising assistant in 2023. She's retiring as of June 1, the same day as her husband will also be retiring. Isn't that nice? Sandra has been instrumental in assisting new students through the onboarding process and getting them into new student advising. Her genuine care and student-centered approach has left a lasting impact on the Student Advising Center, Joliet Junior College, and most notably for all of the students she has served during her time here. We congratulate Sandra and wish her well as her family as she transitions to this next chapter in her life. Congratulations, Sandra.
Item 1.4.3, the recognition of retiree Gary Clark. Karen Kissel.
Thank you, Chairman. For the past 18 years, Gary Clark has been an important part of Joliet Junior College community, serving as a receiving lead with dedication, reliability, and care. Behind the scenes, he has helped keep our campus running smoothly by ensuring that packages, supplies, and essential materials reach the people who depended on them every day. His consistency and strong work ethic made him a lasting impact on our operations and on all of us who had the privilege of working alongside him. More than work itself, Gary brought experience, dependability, and a quiet commitment that earned the respect and appreciation of his colleagues. He was someone we could count on, and his contributions helped the success of departments across the college for nearly 2 decades. As Gary begins this well-deserved retirement, we hope this next chapter brings some relaxation, happiness, and many memorable adventures, especially out in the open seas, enjoying his love of cruising. In fact, he and his wife, Denise, who also worked at JJC, retired the same day. Similar story. And they're in Japan right now, so I'm sure he's enjoying himself. Gary, thank you for your years of service, your dedication to JJC, and the positive difference you have made here. You will be greatly missed, and we wish you nothing but the very best in the years ahead.
We vote on that one first, or? Okay. Item 1.4.4, the recognition of retiree Denise Clark. Dr. Chris Ostmichael.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
As you've heard, Denise is Gary's spouse, so on the cruise as well. According to Workday, Denise Clark had a length of service at JJC of 31 years, 7 months, and 8 days. I was fortunate to work daily with Denise for the last 10 years, 3 months, and 21 days in her role as the iCampus Administrative and Scheduling Specialist. To provide some perspective, in that time, online course enrollment grew from an enrollment of 4,572 students to 7,662 students, an increase of 67.59%. Denise and her efforts working with the iCampus team were a big part of this growth. I frequently comment that the administrative assistants at JJC keep the rest of us functioning, on time, and where we need to be. Denise did this for the team of 8 in iCampus, while also working with department chairs and secretaries across the college, creating online and hybrid schedules, working with vendors as yearly renewals and new purchases occurred, and with hosts of other departments across the college as we brought education to students who were not on campus. Denise's history at JJC meant she had many colleagues and knew who to reach out to for help and where to direct students who needed resources. It will be hard to replace Denise, and many know that I tried to talk her out of it several times. Knowing I was joking, at least a little bit, Denise and Gary have retired and can now spend much deserved time with family, traveling, and not having to worry about Canvas outages, scheduling due dates, or opening courses. Denise, you've earned your retirement. Enjoy.
Next item is 1.4.5, the recognition of retiree Deborah Goff, Brandon Campbell.
Good evening. Today we have the privilege of recognizing a truly special member of the Joliet Junior College Police Department as she prepares to retire after 23 years of dedicated service. Her journey with JJC began in August of 2003 when a former coworker encouraged her to apply for a records clerk position. At this time, she was preparing to return to a previous role, but thankfully for us, she took a chance on JJC. That decision became a career defined by commitment, connection, and lasting impact. When asked what kept her here all these years, her answer was simple: the people. She built more than just working relationships, she built a work family. Through daily interactions, shared laughter, and countless moments in between, she helped create a sense of belonging that so many of us value today. Her peers recognized that impact in a meaningful way, naming her Citizen of the Year twice. That honor speaks volumes about the respect and appreciation she earned throughout her time here. Of course, what she says she will miss the most is that very same work family, the connection, the routine, and the sense of being a part of something bigger than herself. And I think it's safe to say she will be deeply missed in return. Those who know her best know she brings honesty, humor, personality into every space she enters, whether it's sharing stories, her love of baking and gardening, or simply someone who tells it like it is. She has a way of making people feel comfortable, connected, and valued. But beyond her many contributions here, her greatest pride is her family. Her husband, Art, and her daughters, Sarah and Rachel, have been her foundation. And her daughter's connection to JJC makes this moment even more meaningful. Both Sarah and Rachel attended JJC, played softball here, and completed the college's nursing program. Today, they are exceptional nurses making a difference in the lives of others each day. I have personally witnessed the pride Deborah has in her daughters. It's inspiring, and the way she supports them and talks about them and celebrates them, they are truly her pride and joy. As she steps into retirement, she leaves us with a simple message. She will miss her work family and hopes to stay connected, joining when she can. Knowing her, we fully expect that this won't be a goodbye, just be a new chapter. On behalf of the entire Joliet Junior College Police Department, thank you for your 23 years of service, your dedication, and the ways you've made the place better. Personally, I'm gonna very much miss hearing you greet students, staff, faculty every morning with, "How can I help? How can I help?" Just really gonna miss hearing that. So we love you and we miss you.
Deb, get up. Go for it. Debbie, get up.
We've only allocated 2 hours.
Thank you very much. And I can say a couple words? Yes. Thank you. Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hi.
It was kind of crazy getting here tonight. The traffic in Joliet was pretty bad.
Hour and a half.
So, as I stand here today, ready to retire, I'm filled with gratitude and fond memories. Looking back on my journey, I realized the true joy of my career was not the work itself, but the people I shared it with, my amazing colleagues. I want to thank each one of them for their support, encouragement, and countless moments of laughter and friendship. I also want to express my sincere gratitude for the tuition waiver benefit that's offered at JJC. Knowing that JJC education, knowing that JJC values education and invests in the families of its employees is truly inspiring. From this tuition waiver, both our daughters, Sarah and Rachel, went to school at JJC. They both went through the top-notch nursing program. With all their hard work and dedication, are now RNs and BSN. My husband Art and I are so proud of the accomplishments and achievements. Sarah and Rachel, you're our greatest gift a parent could ever ask for. In closing, I'm excited for this new chapter. I'm looking forward to slower mornings, working in my garden, and hopefully taking more unplanned road trips and discovering more hidden gems in our way. Maybe I can learn how to cook instead of always making spaghetti. And thank you for my JJC family.
Next item is 1.5, public comments. Karen, do we have any public comments?
Chairman Bazinski, we do. Tonight we have Kayla Sorensen from Will County CED, who is speaking on agenda item 3.6. As a reminder, Joliet Junior College welcomes public comments during its monthly board meetings. Per policy 015501, the purpose of this opportunity is to direct comments to the board, keeping in mind that comments should be in good taste and please demonstrate consideration for others. Please refrain from inappropriate, irrelevant, or disruptive comments. Each speaker is allotted up to 3 minutes to speak, and thank you for following this procedure.
Absolutely. I will keep my comments very short. I quickly just want to say thank you so much to Dr. Muo, Board of Trustees, team here at Joliet Junior College. My name is Kayla Sorensen. Again, I am here on behalf of the Will County Center for Economic Development, speaking in support of the item 3.6, which is the Project Northwind's property tax abatement request. I know you've heard a little bit about this, but just want to come back and just reiterate our support. Just a quick project overview. Project Northwinds, or it has since been announced since the last time we were here, is Hyundai Translead, which is a new production facility here in the United States. This production facility will focus on trailer equipment manufacturing, including the production of dry and refrigerated trailers and truck bodies. There have been 2 sites that have been selected for Will County, both of which are located in Joliet Junior College's district. So this is a huge investment, very exciting, and will represent over 2.4 million square feet of property dedicated to support production and distribution operations right here in Will County. Both sites, one located in Shanahan, the other one located in Joliet, so not too far down the road from here. Investment and job creation this project will bring. This is anticipated to be a $345 million project investment here, and expected to generate 2,475 full-time employment jobs over the next 3 years. So I'm sure will impact many of our residents and students that have come here or continue to be here. This particular request, Project Northwinds, has completed a property tax abatement program application, which the CED helps to facilitate. And the CED has completed its evaluation of this application, which we recommend a 5-year 50% abatement of this particular project. And the expectation is that this project will be accretive to all of the taxing bodies that is a part of this request. The estimated impact for all taxing bodies part of this is just around $2.5 million post-abatement. So again, huge investment in the community and giving back to all of our taxing bodies as well. And so in conclusion, Hyundai is anticipated to begin operations later this year. I know that they have started hiring some positions already. And again, supported from the Will County CED, asking for your support. It's supported by the state of Illinois, by several different programs as well, and has been approved by all other taxing bodies so far. So just wanted to come and share our support of this. I know it's been some time since you've heard from us, but again, thank you to Joliet Junior College for your ongoing support as not only an economic development partner, as a workforce development partner for a lot of our businesses in the community. Constellation was here, one of them. And so just we hear about that time and time and time again. And so JJC continues to have a seat in the room at a lot of these big project initiatives. And so thank you for being a great partner, and we seek your support on this initiative. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Hope that was under 3 minutes. I'm
You
sorry.
just made it.
Do we have any additional public comments?
We do not.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask for a moment of silence. Item 1.6, Dr. Newell.
Chairman, thank you. I'm asking the college community to join me in a moment of silence for the following individuals tonight. Edward Green, a JJC student. Mike O'Brien, a retiree with 31 years of service in our media service department. Moses Delgado, father of Kathy Delgado, our registrar in records and registration. Mary Kay Spolar, sister of Bob Morris, Dean of Enrollment Management. Michael Roberson, son of Karen Roberson, nursing professor. Kathleen Hesser, sister of Maureen O'Keefe in academic operations. Marilyn Hertko, former JJC trustee. And Bill Kaplan, a JJC Foundation lifetime board member.
Dr. Nomura, may I add one to that? Mrs. Ida King, who was an employee here many years ago.
Thank you, Dr. Newell. Item 1.7, selected reports. 1.7.1, the tentative fiscal year 2027 budget report. Karen Kissel.
Thank you, Chairman. As Karen makes her way up to the podium here, forgive me, as Karen makes her way up to the podium here, I have several comments before we present the FY27 budget to all of you. And of course, we want to start with a lot of gratitude. The individuals you see in this room are still the tip of the iceberg. There's tremendous effort that goes on both among their teams and across the college community as a whole, from budget managers to our faculty and staff. The process is inclusive, and this year we really challenged the college community, considering that it will be a more constrained budget year. We started the budget development process with that as a guiding principle, and the college responded, our leadership has responded. So I want to offer several thoughts in advance of the official first look. And Trustee McCollum, you're in for a real treat here, a real treat. This, of course, presents a balanced, yet again, another balanced, future-focused financial plan that aligns our institutional resources with some of the things that the college cares most deeply about: our strategic priorities, supporting our people and our employees, all while maintaining strong stewardship. Now, the budget projects operating revenues of approximately $125.7 million for the Ed Fund and O&M funds, representing a 2.82 increase over FY26. Now, I do want to just acknowledge that we've been in partnership with the Finance Committee through this, and I really want to thank the chair of the Finance Committee, Trustee Alicia Morales, and Trustee Elaine Bottomley for getting a first look and asking some very tough questions of the administration. And I believe the administration has responded. And to the college community, just a couple of quick reminders that the college continues to rely on three primary sources, originally envisioned as the three-legged stool, if you will, of property taxes, tuition and fees, and state funding. While those numbers have modified slightly over the last few years, property tax revenue continues to account for 60% of our revenue, tuition and fees now accounting for 25%, and state funding accounting for 9%. Now, I'm not going to steal too much of the thunder here, but as the last thing I'll say about the budget, and I mentioned this in just my preliminary remarks, we proudly invest in our people here at JJC, all of them. And personnel investments remain the college's largest expenditure, representing approximately 79% of operating expenses. The FY27 budget that you're about to see strategically, actually, this is really something that I think Karen and her team have done really well. They've strategically reallocated resources to support different types of initiatives, student success initiatives, academic advising, pathway advising, a faculty position, you'll see that, and continued investment in the Crawford Honors College as well. So with that, Chairman, thank you for that. Karen, the floor is yours.
Thanks, President Namuo. Before you tonight, we present the FY27 budget for your consideration. As President Namuo said, it's a balanced approach to long-term financial sustainability, student success, operational stewardship, and strategic investment. Despite ongoing inflationary pressures, the administration, rather the entire campus and all the budget managers, has worked to maintain affordability while continuing to support institutional priorities. The agenda tonight will be to review the major assumptions that we reviewed within the board budget workshop in January, to highlight operational efficiencies, cost containment efforts, and strategic investments. Finally, we will review the timeline. As President Namuo said, this is the 54th balanced budget totaling $125.7 million, representing a 2.82 increase over fiscal year 2026. It absorbs the contractual salary, utilities, and health cost increases that we presented to you in January. It includes targeted strategic investments in advising, healthcare workforce pipeline, and student success. It reflects approximately $3.18 million in identified savings, operational efficiencies, and cost containment since January 2026. And it provides continuing investment in our facilities, in our infrastructure, and in institutional priorities. We're going to review the FY27 budget parameters and assumptions that we talked to you about in January at our board workshop. It's a conservative revenue assumption that we base our budget on. It's disciplined expenditure planning. The assumptions presented to you and that are included in the FY27 budget were what you endorsed in the January board budget workshop. And the administration focused heavily on reallocation this year, more so than ever before. And we really reduced growth increases as much as possible. So just to review the parameters that we talked to you about in January, the assumptions were that state revenue was going to be a 1% reduction. New construction was going to increase 1.1%. The consumer price index is going to increase 2.7%. We know that for a fact. Credit hour growth is 1.1%, and the tuition rate increase that you approved was $2 a credit hour. As it relates to expenditures, salaries per contractual obligations are increasing between 3 to 3.5%. Benefits, 6%. Contractual, supplies, travel, and other are flat. Utilities, a 4% increase. We reserved $250,000 for strategic initiatives that we can focus on this year, and the advisor model, which is the third of the 3-year funding for all 12 advisors, is $400,000.
For this year's budget, on the revenues, not a whole lot changed from what was presented at the January workshop. Property taxes, taking advantage of the consumer price index and new construction, about 2.8 million. The assessed value of our district now is just shy of 32 billion. So basically, not really 1.1% anymore. It's 1% for 325 million in new construction. And then the debt service levy, and that's based on the bond resolution when it was sold, has a 6% increase next year. Tuition and fee revenue, about $750,000. That's a factor of the $2 tuition increase that was approved, and then a 1% enrollment over actual FY26 paid credit hours. And they were about 1,000 hours under budget. So that was factored in. On state revenue, it's kind of a combination. Base operating grant in FY26 kind of ran a little bit under what was expected. So kind of bringing it in line or readjusting for what that was. Still have not seen any allocation by community college from the state yet. So it's still, at this point, an estimate of what we're going to receive for next year. Career and Tech Ed grant, that's pretty level, somewhere between around 750, 770, 775,000. And then indirect revenue off some of the state grants. Been a big increase in kind of state grants the last couple of years, especially around Clean Energy Job Act. And that kind of made up for some of the reduction we saw in the state credit hour allocation to us. And then interest income, we were kind of expecting rates to kind of decrease this coming year. It's a question mark right now with what's happening in the world. So it may not decrease, but we do not know at this point. But we factored in a small decrease this coming year, expecting a rate reduction by the feds. So overall, and like Dr. Namulo said, property taxes is our largest portion of our revenue now in our operating funds. And the budgeted revenue is about $125.7 million. Which, and from the pie chart, you can see from property tax, 60%, tuition 25%, state 9%. Over the years, property tax has grown as a percent of our operating budget. And you go back about 10 years ago, it was about 54 or 55%. So kind of continues to make up a larger share. State revenue is bounced in that 9 to 10% range the whole time I've been here, I think. On the expense side, primarily personnel and benefit represents the largest share of our budget. Personnel increases are based on the union contracts, is what's factored in here. So that's 3 to 3.5%. Health insurance costs factoring budgeted a 6% increase. Still working on a few things with the insurance committee I know our preliminary projection renewal notice was higher than 6%. Utilities factored kind of an allocation of a 4% increase, not knowing how that's going to affect with some of the upcoming utility bids for electric and gas. And then material supplies, contractual, assumed no increase was allocated as a starting point.
As presented at the Finance Committee, we were asked to pull together the efficiencies, the cost containment, and incremental revenues that we had been working on over the years that we have captured through our contracts and what we've presented to you today. When we look at our operational efficiencies, we talk about contractual supplies and travel. That was flat this year. In prior years, we've allocated CPI back to the departments for them to be able to, handle all of the increases that are coming forward. This year, we're asking them to maintain their budget, which is a $300,000 impact to the budget. Procurement, contract, and management services. I'm so proud of what the team accomplished. They gave me a list, which is somewhere in this packet here, of all of the negotiating that they've been doing to try to keep contracts as low as possible. It just doesn't happen in the procurement office. It happens in the departments as well. And they've been able to mitigate $1.4 million worth of expense inflationary increases that vendors and contractors were going to provide us. They've been able to negotiate that down. So my hats off to them. Proposed healthcare RX cost savings. We're looking at ways to manage our RX a little bit better. And we're hoping that we're going to be able to implement up to $1 million worth of savings this year. So we're working on that right now.
external strategic plan management cost avoidance. Last time we did our strategic plan, we hired an outside consultant, and that was 4 years ago. And it was $138,000. This year, we have an even better strategic plan management sponsor.
Wow. I like
I know.
Good job.
My review, we can still have time to. Dr. Farmer is going to manage the strategic plan this year. So we saved $138,000. And I don't know what that cost would have been this year because that was 4 or 5 years ago. So it's another opportunity for us to avoid cost. Energy and facility savings. Pat and his team have been doing a great job. Again, if I could find the sheet of paper here. Managing just cost savings in the area of energy and facilities. Through grants, we've been able to change all of our lights to LED. And that has been able to, we've received an electrical savings of about $23,000. Also, we've participated in the demand response program with ComEd. And so from time to time, we turn down our lights, we turn down our air conditioning just to help what the pressure is on the grid. And that saved us last year almost $40,000. So that there are things that we're doing every day to continue to reduce cost. And then incremental revenues. As you know, Rock Run has sold their complex, and they've been using our road for many years. We've been maintaining it. We've been removing the snow. We've been paying for lighting. They've come back to us through some negotiation that President Namuo did, and they gave us $200,000 to be able to support all the costs of just maintaining that road. All this to say that because of these incremental containment and cost savings, we were able to try to manage the budget as well as possible. So that's factored in the budget. But at the Finance Committee meeting, we received a directive. Can you identify additional cost savings without materially impacting operations that could give you flexibility? And so the Finance and Accounting team went back and looked at different line items and was able to identify $148,000 worth of additional cost savings that we can implement on top of what we've presented here with the $3.1 million. So that'll give us flexibility for strategic initiatives or for other priorities that the college has. So we took what you said seriously, and we were able to find another almost $150,000 to the bottom line. Strategic investments. So what was included in our budget this year were 3 non-personnel strategic investments. One was a referendum consultant, which the board approved 2 months ago in one of the board items. But I look at this as just long-term financial planning. The next one is $25,000 of additional funding for athletics postseason travel. We've been so fortunate. Our students have done so well in their sports that they have opportunity to travel. It's just going to cost a little bit more money, but we want to support them there. And then $10,000 for additional funding for roads and grounds, for contractual agreements, for fertilizer, for seed, for burns, for things that we need to do to keep up our maintenance of our campus. And we can all say that campus looks fantastic. And then personnel. These have been intentionally limited, and they've been strategically targeted. This supports retention, it supports student completion, it supports student success. Specifically, when we look at the academic advisor and the guided academic pathway advisor, that is the part 3 of 3 parts for the academic advisors that the board endorsed 3 years ago. So this is the final edition of that. And the last one is 1 faculty for microbiology. It really is because of the healthcare pathway. Students need microbiology in order to graduate, and the enrollment demand is there. So this is why we added these strategic initiatives. The next one is the reallocation of positions. This is what President Namuo was talking about. It's no new net operating costs. So this was a zero cost initiative, but we were able to put together a manager of Crawford Honors College. It was reallocated from costs that we pulled from other departments. So one of the open dual credit specialists was transitioned to a manager of the Crawford Honors College. The second one was a groundskeeper. 2 positions were reallocated from part-time positions. They were able to get 2 full-time positions because we reallocated part-time positions. And then a part-time position. We had a specialist, 3 in athletic performance, and it was reallocated from another part-time position. So we were able to add these positions just through looking at existing open positions. Again, no cost to our operating budget. And finally, I just wanted to walk through how 2026 operating budget transitioned to 2027. I affectionately call this slide Trustee Bottomley's slide. But I just wanted to point out our operating budget in 2026 was $122 million. How did it become $125.7 million? So I'd like to walk through it. What you can see in green, those are the items that either the board has approved already, are contractually obligated, or was included in the board budget workshop in January. So the first was pay raises. That was a 3 to 3.5%. That equated to $2.5 million. The next one was vacancy savings increases. Over the past couple years, we've been managing vacancy savings as just part of our operating budget. This year, we increased it $600,000 because we just have natural attrition. So there's positions open, and through the recruitment and the retention process, it just takes a little time, and we're able to leverage that back into our operating budget. The third one is the benefit cost increase. This is at 6% in cost increase for the benefits. The next one is the utilities cost increase of 4%. So that's what we factored in the budget. The third one is transfer reductions. So every year we transfer money out of our educational fund or our O&M fund to fund things like the foundation, also to fund our facilities infrastructure improvements. We're not funding less in infrastructure by this number. We've just been really fortunate in the area of grants and support to be able to bridge that gap. So we were able to take this $400,000 reduction in our operating budget. The next one is the referendum. You approve the referendum, it's going to be $75,000. We believe we'll be spending that in the next coming months. We haven't spent any money yet. Roads and grounds contractual, that's the $10,000 I talked about for fertilizing and other maintenance necessary items that grounds needs. The next one is athletic post-season travel of $25,000. Then the 4 advisors. Again, this completes the 12 advisors that the board approved 3 years ago. The manager of Crawford's Honor College, again, this is a reallocation of monies. The microbiology faculty, and then reducing 1 dual credit specialist from full-time to part-time. That's how the 2027 budget was developed from 2026. So only the items in black are things that the board hasn't approved or seen prior to our meeting today.
In our operating fund, there's $400,000 of capital projects budgeted. $259,000 for kind of roads and grounds, replacing 2 aging pickup trucks, an older gator, an older mower, a couple salt spreaders. $100,000 kind of an allocation set aside for furniture on campus, and then 41 grand for kind of small little room remodeling projects as they come up. So not a lot set aside for that. So all in, comes up back to the 125.7 million of expenses for the operating budget, which is primarily represented by salary and benefits, thanks to 79%. Comparatively, salary and benefits represented about 78% of the operating budget last year. But the only addition this year in the operating funds is primarily the 5 positions, the 4 advisors and the faculty. So just to recap, to show revenues and expenses, that we have a balanced budget. And then kind of on the infrastructure, the college improvement plan, deferred maintenance, goes by different names here. These are kind of the categories of some of the projects that facilities will be working on this coming year. You know, it's a little over $4 million of kind of new funds that was built into the budget and the plan, and then about a little over $1 million of kind of carryover of funds that projects got delayed. They're not getting started till this summer or this fall, so they carry over the budget. The exterior wall, 400. Get my notes. It's basically primarily facade repair and some exterior painting. Next big one, electrical systems, a little over $1.5 million. That's the generator that be replacing. Next big one, kind of interior systems. Bigger project in there is T-building restroom is planned on and replacing kind of a mezzanine level in the boiler house. And then just kind of odd room updates, carpeting, stuff around campus. Safety systems, that's primarily our PH public health safety levy out of our tax levy that we allocate a little over $1 million annually to. Two big things in there is kind of working on a boiler and some cooler work at the city center campus. And then site work, the 570, that's primarily parking lot and road infrastructure, maintaining it on campus. So basically, timeline, asking the board to adopt the preliminary budget tonight, and then at the June meeting to approve the legal budget. Questions?
Chairman, before we take questions, may I?
Yes.
I've got a memo on the top of your budget book, trustees, and I just want to direct your attention, and you'll hear more about this from Amanda, so I won't go through both of these items in detail, but what the administration heard loud and clear from our board, while you supported the tuition increase and the reasons for it, you lofted a challenge to the administration to do what we could to neutralize the impact of that $2 increase on our student body. So, Amanda, in working with the foundation, has really come through. And these are two strategies that our foundation has approved that will help neutralize the effect. Real quick, I won't go through it because I know that the college community is listening. I will just say, over the next 3 years, the foundation has allocated a total of $300,000, $100,000 over the next 3 years to support students' emergency needs. Right? Students who are in that category can have access to some additional resources. Again, $100,000 a year over the next 3 years. Additionally, and I think Amanda has hinted at this, but it's now official, that the appreciation allocation at the foundation will go from 4% to 4.5%. And I've used my scholarship as an example. It'll either be we'll award more money to each scholar, or we'll be able to award to more students. So more money is going to flow through to our students, and the difference between FY26 and 27, you'll see students will see an additional $500,000 available to them in scholarship funds. So I wanted to close with that. Thank you.
Do we have any questions from the board?
You want to go straight away?
No, just go ahead.
Okay, couple questions I have. I see we have all these new hires on the agenda tonight, and I didn't see any replacement of cost savings of those, because I was looking to see, is that included in what you're doing of those that are the old ones that the new ones are bringing in, and how much is that total about?
It would depend on what the faculty retiring, what column they were on in step.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of them between 120 and 150. We factor in new hires base about 90,000 as a starting point is what we assume from a budget.
So you're estimating about how much in the savings?
But it can be anywhere from 30 to 50,000 per faculty, but that's already factored into the 3 to 3.5% salary increase.
So that's included in that?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Trustee Browder, can I ask a clarifying comment? Are you referring to the positions that are up for approval in the book tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the ones that I'm looking at, because all I see is, this one's retiring and this is the new salary. But I didn't see the old salary, so I could compare what our savings was. Because we always look at making sure that that's a buffer to be saved instead of spending it.
Agreed, and a lot of it's a known retiree. It's already factored into what we're budgeting for next year.
Okay. Then the other question I have, I saw the insurance claims went up this month. It was quite high. Where are we going to be with the insurance? You say you're going to see a $1 million savings, but how are we going to do that? Because when I look at claims and I look at where we're at, it looks like we're going to be over budget.
We may be over. We're still positive in our self-insurance fund
Okay.
for the year. So we're trending in line with budget.
Okay.
RX is definitely increasing at a higher percentage than anything else.
Are you increasing fees for insurance for employees at all?
That's driven by union contracts.
Okay.
What that potential savings would be, I'm trying to think of the term. It's for getting some of the certain types of prescriptions. I don't want to say it. There's more, they have scrutiny, that's a good term. I was trying to think of the term I wanted to use, I couldn't think of it. So somebody could get those prescriptions, because some of those prescriptions are fairly high priced. So it's just, they have to go through more, the doctor has to justify prescribing it, and it's to help prevent people from getting a prescription for a drug that are taken off label for what it's supposed to be used for.
So is it like going to a 90-day prescription like most of us are required to do now?
No, it's not that. It's not related to that. It would be preventing somebody from getting a prescription that it's not for what they have.
Okay. And the last one I have is O&M restrictions. I didn't see anything regarding usage of anything for the Morris campus. Is that not included in 2027 at all? Because you guys talked about when you had the last one of the last meetings, you said we were going to use O&M restricted for the Morris campus.
It'd be, you talking the architect or the potential construction?
I'm just talking about use of the funds in general. So how would we be using them? Because if it's not on the budget, how would we be using the O&M for the Morris campus?
O&M restricted, while those are kind of the new projects that I talked about, a large chunk of the fund balance in there does get budgeted. But the only way it can be spent is if the board approves a contract.
Okay, so it's got to be contractual.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I
yes,
thought.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's what I thought. And my last one is, I don't see another board meeting for all of us to meet prior to the June 24th meeting, as we had agreed last year, so that it doesn't go crazy like we did last year.
There won't be. We had to cancel a board meeting for lack of attendance. I invited everyone to the last finance committee meeting. No one showed up but me. I mean, we've given you opportunities, not showing up for meetings and not attending the meetings that we had representatives to. Did you send questions, either of them that I asked?
How could we send questions when we didn't have a budget? We didn't have anything given to us, so how could we do it? I'd love to see cuts, but I didn't see anything that came through. So coming to that meeting, I wouldn't have known what to ask or said anything to them. Plus, I was down in lobby days.
Well, that would have been the time to see it.
I wish we would have. And as far as the meeting goes, I'm sorry, I was 7 minutes away. I've never been late, or I only missed one meeting. I wish I had gotten a text or a call from you.
We had emailed you, you said you'd be here. I
Yes, I
waited
did.
15 minutes to start the meeting. We started 15 minutes late. There was still nobody in attendance. We were here for an hour and a half, and I still didn't see you, so how late was I supposed to wait to start a meeting?
All you had to do was text us. I was 8
No,
minutes away.
no, when the meeting
Now,
starts, I'm not texting people who aren't here. The
If you want
policy
to
is,
have a quorum, you should, because that's
Well,
what all the other chairs have
we,
done.
we asked you if you were coming, you said yes, and then you don't show. That's the effort I put into it. Karen reached out to you. What you told her wasn't the truth, so.
It was the truth. I was going to be here. I came here a little after 7.
That wasn't what you.
Point of order, how is
communicated.
this relevant to the item that we're currently discussing on the
Yeah,
agenda?
there will not be another meeting regarding the budget. It's in front of you now. We will vote for it in June. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
I really appreciate all the work that goes into this. I know that I asked a lot of in-depth and hard questions, and I really appreciate staff taking the time to come up with some additional review and additional 1.25%, the approximately $148,000 in operation reductions. I mean, I said this at Finance Committee, I'm going to say it again here. We all know that it's a weird time to be alive and functioning in this world and making purchases. So with the additional $148,000 that we found in reductions, how does that work? Like, how does that end up getting budgeted so that in the event that utilities see an increase above 4%, we're able to access that? Is it we're going to put this in like a rainy day pot and then it doesn't have to come back to the board for approval? What does that look like?
We're going to put it in a contingency account, so we'll have that available.
And then in order to move anything out of the contingency account, does that take any board action or does that just automatically happen?
If it's contractual, it would take board action.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I'm done, thank you.
Any questions?
I don't have any. Thank you for the report.
Comment, please.
Well, I just said thank you for the in-depth report. Appreciate that.
For me, thank you again for the wonderful presentation and providing a high-level summary and breaking down a lot of the key information for us to better understand as we go into the preliminary budget. I appreciate the diagram just breaking down for the fiscal operating funds and expenditures, where it breaks down the salary and the benefits, and it represents more than 75%. I think the number that you all had was 79% of our operating budget. So that gives us a good idea of where our expenses are going to. And again, it's aligned to the values of the institution because we value our employees and also benefits along that need to be provided to our employees. So thank you for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Trustee.
Thank you. Next item is 1.7.2, the student trustee report. Our first one from Trustee McCollum.
All right. Before we start today's presentation with the student trustee, Byron McCullum, how are we feeling today, y'all?
Doing good.
All right, that's good. So before we get into today's items, I would just like to do an overview about, we're going to be going over myself, a thank you, gratitude, spring 2026 events and celebrations and upcoming events. So a little about me. I graduated from Joliet West High School. I'm currently majoring in computer science and game design development. I've been at JJC for this is going to be in the fall, my second year. I've been so far the Secretary of Student Government, Public Relations Officer of Active Minds, and recently promoted as president of that club. So I just want to give out a massive thank you to who you see on the screen I like to call my PR team. They've been with me, backing me up since August, since I was first come here to JJC, and they've just been helping me with anytime I had a speech to give out, they would be the people I would practice with, and anytime I would have a paper due, they would be the people who would pre-read it, make sure everything's good. So big shout outs to them. So first event I went on was April 16th, was with student government. I went on one of the student lobby days. It was 8 of us who went there down to the Illinois State Capitol. We were advocating for baccalaureate degrees for community colleges, and we were able to meet with several of the senators and representatives there, mainly Matt Chappell and Rachel Ventura, just to know who too. Next event was the next day was the Student Government Spring Gala. It was an event that celebrated faculty and staff who were nominated by students who felt like they made a great impact on JJC and also their educational careers. We had food, song, and dance. And anyone who went there, I had the pleasure of getting into a dance competition with multiple people and winning. Now, next up, May 6th, went on back to Springfield again. This time again for baccalaureate degrees for community colleges. And I had the opportunity to provide remarks at one of the ICCTA general meetings. If you ever wanted to take a chance, go to my LinkedIn. Or ask the president, he'll give it to you. Okay. Next up, XG student service trip. We volunteered, 7 of us went to Northern Illinois Food Bank. We helped out there packaging some supplies, some canned goods, making sure they're good. And then afterwards, we went to Six Flags and we had an adventure. It was really fun. I would recommend it. If you're a fan of roller coasters, that is. And now, graduation. I just want to give another shout out to 2026 graduation class. And I know it was a really arduous past year with everything going on. I couldn't give any more grace to the past class. So it was approximately 750 graduates, and where I got that number from was the president's emails. So if you're ever wondering if anyone was reading them emails, I'm one. So, getting to the end here, y'all. Next up upcoming events is OSA's popcorn. If you want any popcorn, be sure to visit the D-Info desk on June 1st and the 29th. Then next we have, again, OSA's World Cup viewing party. That's on June 16th and the 17th. If you ever want to watch the World Cup, be sure to stop by. And again, just one massive thank you. I was just like, this is my first board meeting, and I hope I gave y'all a little bit of entertainment. So.
Item 1.7.3, the faculty union report. Mr. Kurt Ward.
Not quite as tall as Byron. Hey, good evening. Happy week 1 of the summer session. It's hard to believe, right? I hope everybody's doing well. I want to echo Byron's sentiments. Congratulations to our spring graduates. From a faculty standpoint, to get there to watch your students cross the stage and receive the accolades that they've earned is really the ultimate blessing, right? That's why we're here. And that's really why we're all here on campus, is for our students, but it's particularly gratifying as one of the faculty members. So congrats to all of them. Also, I want to say congratulations to all the retirees. In case you weren't doing the math over the last 2 months like I have, those folks represent 326 years of experience and expertise who are now gone on to doing funner things. So they've left a big gap for us to fill. So they're going to be missed. And from the faculty retirement standpoint, last month we had our annual faculty retirement luncheon, and we're able to celebrate those folks leaving. I go back to March because somehow I missed an opportunity to speak in April. Anyway, but in March I talked about a world-class education here at JJC. And I highlighted the outstanding work of culinary, nursing, and healthcare. This month, I want to talk about the Fine Arts Department. Have anybody here ever had a chance to go to a play, a musical, a concert, a recital, visit the art gallery? Mm-hmm. Our students and faculty and staff and community members are freaking awesome. Plus, it's way less expensive than to go into one of those big houses down in Chicago, right? But I specifically want to recognize Professor Brian Fruits Esparza. Brian recently received the Dale P. Parnell Faculty Recognition Award from the American Association of Community Colleges for 2026. And this recognizes individuals who excel not only in the classroom, but outside of it as well. And he was acknowledged at their recent conference in Seattle. I also want to recognize Megan Callahan, Professor of Art History, as the 2026 Outstanding Full-Time Faculty of the Year, and David Shaw as the instructor in the technical department as the 2026 Outstanding Adjunct Faculty of the Year. And Professor Callahan had a really inspiring message for our students at graduation, so I really appreciated that. And to me, one of the things that makes these two awards most special, they're nominated by their peers, right? So it's great to be recognized by your fellow faculty members. I know he's not here tonight, but I want to recognize Trustee Brenton Bishop, our former trustee now. I know we celebrated a little bit last month, at least unofficially. As a faculty member, it's great to see him as our student first. But then to watch him the last year grow here in this setting was really why we do what we do, right? To Byron, congratulations on becoming the next student trustee.
Thank you, Kurt.
You've got big shoes to fill.
I'm gonna try.
But I think, as I watched you up here, I think the tennies need to be the new dress standard around here. I like that, right? I've seen the president, pictures of him running across the Capitol in them, and now you. I think the white tennis shoes should be the standard. All right. But congratulations in your new role. And so everybody else, have a great summer and a safe Memorial Day weekend. And thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Kurt.
Item 1.7.4, the Adjunct Faculty Union Report. Dr. Barbara Wilhen will not be here tonight, so will you not have a report. The next item is 1.7.5, the JJC Foundation Report with Ms. Amanda Quinn.
Good evening. It looks like we're all using our branded new template for our, I know Robin's happy. Everyone's had the same look. Just wanted to update you on a few things. The first thing is yesterday, the foundation board approved the 27 foundation budget, and I wanted to highlight a few things. I know Dr. Nemuo talked about some of them. The first is every year we allocate interest for our endowments, which is basically the funds we give out to our students in scholarships. That number last year was around $744,000. The board approved a 4.5% allocation. Typically, I think 1 year in the last 10 years have they done the 4.5%. Typically, it's 4%. So that ends up being over $1.2 million just in endowed funds that we're going to be able to award in scholarships this year. So we're able to have an additional $522,000 for our students. So I know I've been listening, and I go to the foundation board and I tell them what you are all talking about in your meetings and what can we do to help these situations. So this is one of the things I really pushed for, and they agree that it's a great thing that we can do to support our students. The other thing that I went to them with is we have 2 grants that are actually we're probably not going to have any longer to support student emergency needs. They were federal and state grants that are going away. So we have a fund called the Smith Sustaining Endowment. And I went to the board and I said, can you take some of that money and give it back to our student emergency fund? Right now, our student emergency fund within the foundation holds $100,000. So how fast are we going to run out of that after we're losing large grants? So they came back and they said, yes, we can do that. We'll award $100,000 a year over the next 3 years to support student emergency needs. I'm working with Dr. Carl Brooks on a plan to disperse that money through student development. And it's not like we're done. We're going to go out and we're going to raise funds for the student emergency fund. So that's giving me 3 years to raise that money to do that. So I'm excited about that. We already have a plan in place to do
a back-to-school appeal for student emergency support. And that's just the beginning of some of the things we're going to do. We're going to highlight students that are willing to be highlighted to talk about how the Student Emergency Fund helped them over the next 3 years to do that. And then lastly, another thing that they decided to do is typically we award $50,000 for awards for innovation and excellence program. They said, when's the last time we increased that? And I said 2015. And they said, everything is costing more money. We obviously all know that. That's conversations we were having tonight. So they increased the funding to $100,000 a year going forward. And that's for faculty and staff innovation projects. And they actually approved, and I'll tell you at the next meeting, because we just announced to those individuals that are receiving the money, but they approved 4 projects. So I'll keep you updated on that. So what I told my board at the meeting, at the end of the meeting, I said, I want you to take one thing out of this meeting today, and that's $1 million that you added to our budget this year in these things and a couple other things that they funded. So I thought that was a big win for the foundation and more importantly for our students, not only for scholarship support, but student emergency support and our faculty and staff for innovation projects. I know I always like to update everyone on our fall scholarships. It actually closed on May 15th, so here's where we start scoring them and awarding them. That's what our summer is really comprised of. We had 1,660 completed applications, and that was a 5% increase over last year. We've really been pushing to get incoming students and current students and transfer students, because we have all those scholarships, to apply for scholarships. And our committee is ready to start scoring in 2 weeks. So looking forward to that and awarding all the additional money that we have to award this year. I always like to give a grant update. I know you have that in your packet, but they've secured almost $11.3 million this year, and that's what they're projecting. So we have another month, and we'll see where we end up. But like I said, the full list of the awarded grants are included in your board book. If you ever have any questions about that, just let us know. One of my favorite fundraisers is our philanthropy cord fundraiser. Usually it's the one that's raising millions of dollars, but this one is great because it's our students that are leaving JJC. They can give $5 donation and become a donor before they even walk out the door and connect with the foundation and our alumni office. So we're in our 3rd year of that, and this year they raised $2,100, and those are some of our students at graduation that are wearing their purple cords. So looking forward to continue growing that. I know Dr. Namuo highlighted a student recipient at graduation this year, so kind of cool to see that come full circle and see those students that get the scholarship graduate and then give back. And then the last thing I want to do is, I know we've been focusing on the 125th anniversary, so we did our spring appeal this year, highlighting that, which was a letter from Dr. Namuo celebrating this milestone. And our spring appeal typically doesn't raise that much, not a lot of money. We raise it pretty much at the end of the calendar year. But so far to date, funds still are coming in. We've raised $36,000, and that goes into our general scholarship fund. So if there's a scholarship need, we can use that money to do that. And then I always like to highlight, Mariana was here, but she left, our alumni podcast. This May's podcast was Mariana Rafak, and her story was really great. So I encourage everyone to take 30 minutes out of their month and listen to our podcast. Jen Davis does a wonderful job, and she's a great host. And if you have any recommendations for alumni to be on that, let us know. That's all I have. Any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 1.7.6, the Building and Grounds Committee Report. Trustee Bottomley and Trustee McCollum.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to give a quick overview. Building and Grounds Committee met this afternoon, shortly before we got here today for our complete board meeting. We went over a lot of our projects that are currently in design, projects that are also in construction, as well as some things to come. There's one item that I really want to call out directly, and it's one item that we are going to be voting on tonight. That's going to be item 3.2.2. that is the main campus emergency generator replacement. So we did a overview of that, just as a caveat to it. We will be voting on it. It is on the consent agenda, so if there's any in-depth questions, I will make our good friend Pat Van Dyne answer those. Otherwise, that is going to be paid out of next year's fiscal year budget. And when I say will be paid for, I mean the procurement of it and ultimate installation. All of the engineering work has already been paid for and was approved by us. Otherwise, we have some really exciting things coming forward in the future. Those are going to be updates on our facilities master plan, as well as just some other major projects, including the referendum. So we'll be getting some updates about that at a future date, as they're kind of working through the final details. One other item that we'll be voting on this evening that I wanted to bring to attention is the intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Romeoville. Ultimately, what's going to happen is Romeoville is going to build a sidewalk that's going to connect up to our parking lot at Romeoville's cost, and once it's complete, it's going to be handed over to us, very much in line with letting Romeoville continue to use our parking lot out there for their special events, which they have many of. So looking forward to supporting that tonight. Otherwise, that is it for building and grounds.
Thank you. Item 1.7.7, the Board Policy Committee report. Trustee Garcia-Guillen and Trustee Harris.
Yes, thank you. So the policy committee did not meet in the month of May, but we will be meeting again in the month of June. I do want to flag for you a few things that are listed under item number 4, new business, old business. Today we have, we'll be reviewing first reading of board policies. There will be 3 of them. And for the second reading, we have 2 policies that are part of the consent agenda. And then for item 4.3, review only and approval of board policies. We have 4 policies that are also part of the consent agenda that we'll be voting on later this evening. That will be all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 1.7.8, the Finance Committee report from Trustee Morales and Trustee Bottomley.
Thank you. The Finance Committee has been meeting regularly, and we met on January 20th, and tonight we are going to be on the agenda. We have Project North Winds, which was presented to us at the January 20th Finance Committee meeting, which is definitely something positive for our college district, for us as an institution, which we all know our mission is workforce development, and just for people in the community that, you know, hopefully it will be a job creator for folks in the area. We also met on April 9th where we discussed referendum, the possibility of that. So that's definitely something we as trustees we have to do our job, and we have to consider, you know, if this is something that, you know, that is going to be beneficial for everyone. Whenever it's always a challenging conversation when we ask anybody for funds, whether we're asking putting it on a referendum or whether we're asking students to pay more to come here. We all want the students to have a wonderful experience, but we have to ask ourselves at what cost? You know, when do we, it's a give and take, and I get it, and we need to invest in students. But that's something that we as board members, we were elected to represent the community. And we need to keep that in mind when we, you know, do our due diligence, and we have to ask the difficult questions. That's our only job, and it's not something that we get paid to do, but that's what the community elected us to do. And I know for me, nobody tapped me on the shoulder and asked me to run for office. Nobody in any party, nobody, period. It's just something that I wanted to do because I believe it's the right thing, and I want to represent the community, right? So I just hope that all of our board members, you know, also consider that as well, and do our job be good stewards of the finances of the taxpayers and of our students, but also making sure that our staff and faculty and students have a wonderful experience here. So that's all I have for tonight's Finance Committee report. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 1.7.9, the President's Report with Dr. Klein Namuo.
Thank you, Chairman. As my presentation's coming up here, I just want to offer my thanks to Jackie for visiting with us tonight. I've placed here on the dais our finalist award for the College Corporate Partnership, and that, of course, was with Constellation. She mentioned one of the programs, the AIM program, something we're very proud of. But through it all, over the last few years, Constellation has been with us every step of the way. They've helped shape some of our curriculum. They've given students scholarships. They've supported Future Wolves. And on and on and on. So both Sharon Johnson and Jackie Driska, just very thankful for the partnership we have with Constellation. I think Trustee McCullum and I suffer from the same affliction, and that's we're too shy, he and I.
Yeah.
I think together we're going to support each other to break out of our shells. Trustee McCullum, are you with me on that one?
Of course I am.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Yes. So I'm going to pass something around, and before I do that, I just again want to say thank you to Amanda. $1 million, essentially the foundation board, the institutional advancement team, the foundation staff have really responded when challenged to do so to neutralize the impact of the $2 tuition increase. You've allocated $1 million, and over the next few years, $1 million will flow to our students who need it most. And speaking of students who need it most, I'm going to pass this along and try to pick up some of the numbers as you send it along. So, Chairman, I'm going to wake up bright and early tomorrow morning, do my normal thing, get on the bike. When I'm off the bike, I'm headed to Springfield. So this last week, the leadership team here, and they're all nodding their heads because it was quite a student forum that we had in the U Building auditorium. So I want to tell you a little bit about it, and I want to tell you why I'm inspired to drive down to Springfield tomorrow to deliver dozens of letters from our nursing students. So over the last week, we've worked with our legislative partners, Point of Difference, with Karen Kissel as the tip of the spear there. And we have been advocating behind the scenes and on the scenes with all of our elected officials for a return of the PATH grant. Now, the PATH grant was created after COVID to support allied health programs at community colleges, and ultimately, of course, to support the healthcare workforce across the state of Illinois. Now, over the last few years, that number has gone down from 25 million down to 15 million. And we learned a couple of months ago that the PATH grant would be eliminated. Now, here at JJC, the PATH grant this year totals about $450,000. It's totaled $800,000 when it was first introduced. And it has supported and is now supporting 471 allied health students here at JJC every single semester. It has literally supported thousands of students over the years for all of their needs outside of the classroom and in support of their learning in the classroom as well. So the administration was moved to action, and I'll be driving down to Springfield bright and early tomorrow. I've got an appointment in the afternoon, so I have to be back by around 2 or 3 o'clock. But I'm going to hand deliver what you all are looking at right now. Dozens of letters from our students, a single letter signed by dozens of our students, in addition to advocacy we've been making over the last 7 days, inundating our elected officials in hopes that the PATH grant will make its way back into the budget. And it appears to be promising, but I hope to come back to this board to announce that the PATH grant will be back and the cash office will be back at JJC. And as you make that, as it makes its way around, I need that back, that one. I need that back. All right. Chairman, there are so many things here as I typically do, I'll start with just some enrollment data. Summer numbers are slightly down. I've initiated a different report, though, for you. I mean, I do this every month for you at our regular board meetings. And I think what would be more helpful is rather than just comparing our current enrollment numbers to last year's enrollment numbers, compare it to the last 5 years worth of trend data, right? So, yeah. So the team's working on that. So when you look at fall numbers, for example, there's a temptation to be encouraged by these numbers, and you should be encouraged by the numbers. But I really want to see how the 38,500 for fall 26 compares to the last 5 years worth of trend data. So my hope is our reporting will get a little bit more sophisticated there, but as always, this is very helpful. It gives us a snapshot and at least a comparison from this year to last year. The administration, as Trustee Morales mentioned, and as you heard from Kayla, the administration stands in strong support of agenda item 3.6. You've got the details in the board book here. This is just frankly a game changer for the region and not just Joliet and not just for Shanahan. When the governor made this announcement, we were a big part of this. And I know you have all heard this before, but as we complete and come to the end of our master facilities planning process, what has emerged, and this will come as no surprise to anyone in the T building, or any program around that area, or anyone who utters the phrase workforce development as it relates to JJC, we need more capacity in those programs, in our technical department. So project emerged, it's called the Manufacturing Training Center. But just to communicate to the college community and our board of trustees how much confidence the state has in what we do here at Joliet Junior College. And while I'm reluctant to say the number out loud, because the check is in the mail and is not yet cashed, I have revealed the number to certain groups. It is an 8-figure amount that will fully fund the design and construction of a manufacturing training academy on JJC's campus to expand capacity across those technical programs, to serve more students, to modernize our spaces. And I just cannot thank, and I'll have some gratitude here in a few more slides. I had an audience with the technical department faculty and leadership and offered my gratitude to them specifically. I want to take a moment to thank our grants team, our academic leadership team. This is a huge win for JJC. So more to come on this one. And for those keeping track at home, the timeline, the construction of this facility will nearly mirror the construction of our expansion out in Morris. Chairman, I come with more handouts. Trustee Garcia, there you go. So what I've decided to do is over the next few months, and this is really coming, in response to some of the strategic conversations we've had at our workshops and some of the strategic conversations we've had about the direction of Joliet Junior College. Now, I have the pleasure of serving on different national boards. I'm involved with the Higher Learning Commission, the American Association of Community Colleges, the American Council for Education, among others. And I was so inspired, I was so motivated after attending the HLC annual conference that HLC has really taken the lead on a number of different national conversations. And so it made me ask several questions. How are we at JJC doing aligned with some of these national trends and priorities of our accrediting body, which just so happens to be the largest higher education accrediting body in the country? So the questions I asked, you'll see here. Number one, you've got the Trends Report 2026, hot off the presses. But what I'd highlight for you are ways that we at JJC are aligning with some of these national trends and priorities, an increased focus on the value and return on investment. And we've seen some of our university partners over this last year experience quite a bit of scrutiny for the value of the experience and the credential they provide. Now, many of them are trusted partners of JJC, and we send thousands of students into their arms every single year. But here at JJC, we've largely avoided the scrutiny associated with that value conversation. So I want you as trustees to have some comfort that the board should have a takeaway that JJC is proactively strengthening its value proposition in ways that align with some of these national expectations. I won't go through each, but workforce alignment as a central priority, accreditation, governance and leadership expectations, and lastly, and there are many more trends here, but I picked out the ones that I think were aligned really well: financial stability, financial sustainability, and discipline. So Chairman, I leave that with you and the trustees to peruse. And I've got another report coming. I'm not going to promise that it'll be here in June. I'll promise that it'll be here in the next couple of months, aligned with what the American Association of Community Colleges has put out. They've called the document their strategic compass. And after reading about half of it, I'm convinced that we are headed in the right direction, the right strategic direction. So Chairman, thank you for that. The months in review, I'm going to fly by because these are multiple months in review. I see that Robin Ballard is here, and there's the JJC new logo. Trustees, you all now have a bag of swag, and I hope you wear the swag proudly across the world. I want to send just a quick shout out to Susanna Rivera Mills, who we hosted on campus. She is the not so new anymore president of Aurora University. So we're exploring some strategic partnerships there. We presented Crawford Honors College to a national audience in Seattle at the AACC annual conference. And you see on screen there, Sharon Johnson joined us in Seattle to receive our finalist award. A lot of other different things. I participated with some of my president colleagues in the Higher Education Futures Table. That's a group that has been specifically invited by the governor and the Deputy Governor of Education, Martin Torres. And as you heard from Trustee McCollum, we took Springfield by storm, my friend. Took Springfield by storm. Had a lot of great conversations, advocated, and I'm sure you'll hear more about this from Trustee Harris later in the day. And Chairman, I got to meet Coach Underwood there. Told him I have some eligibility left, and that's why he's laughing so hard. Thanks. Shout out to our Latinos Unidos group. You'll see some of their content, and I'll be in there as well. We did take a really cool tour of a data center. Some of the trustees joined the administration, learned quite a bit about this data center up in Elk Grove. As data centers make their way across our region, you'll see that not only did Joliet approve, you'll see data centers are now approaching the city of Lockport, city of Coal City, among others. So I think it's incumbent upon us to learn as much as we can as we are the workforce development partner of choice. I thought Mayor Noak did a great job at his Romeoville State of the Village there. And in the lower right-hand corner, we celebrated the first 3 graduates, the inaugural class of the Crawford Honors College. Opening night at the Slammers Stadium, I understand some of you were there. I won't out some of you who were there who failed to invite me to their suite, but I want to send a special shout out to Dr. Hendrickson and Dr. Livingston at USF. It was President's Night, apparently, at USF. We were there as a guest of, at the Slammer Stadium. We were there as a guest of Lewis University as we wanted to get to know the incoming president of Lewis University, Dr. Chris Sint there. And Chairman, does everyone remember Benny?
Mm-hmm.
who walked across our stage.
Mhm.
He was
Yeah,
12, okay? He's got a master's degree from Lewis University now
What is he, like 15?
in computer science, and he is 15,
Oh
Trustee
my
Morales.
God. Oh my goodness.
He is 15
Wow.
years old.
It's amazing.
So if that doesn't make you feel, well, it could make you feel old, but if that doesn't make you feel a little lazy, I mean, I thought I was doing pretty well in this world, but I didn't get a master's degree till much later. Do want to send a special shout out to Coal City High School. I was invited to speak at their commencement ceremony, so go Kohlers, class of 2026. And it is always lovely to see my dear friend, President Emeritus J.D. Ross here. Nursing pinning ceremony, you see Trustee Harris and Trustee Broderick there. We had 70 graduates in our nursing program. What more to say that hasn't already been said? Huge shout out. Commencement was just incredible. Another incredible night here. And want to send some athletic, positive vibes to our softball team. They're over in Syracuse, New York, and they're participating in a double elimination tournament out there. They may have lost the first game, but they're not out of it yet. This is a team that set the record for the number of wins. So maybe the best softball team we've ever had. No offense to all the previous softball teams, but they set a record for the number of wins. And up in the upper right-hand corner, our women's golf team came from behind to defeat the College of DuPage to win the Region 4. So they are off to New York to defend their national championship. And normally when I put things on social media, I get 4 or 5 likes, Chairman. Apparently the college community loves the fact that Tiana and I went to see the team off at 6:45 a.m. on a Sunday morning to wish them well. So I'm hoping they come back with some hardware. I want to do 2 employee spotlights today, Chairman. I want to spotlight the JJC Community Service Employee Resource Group. Employee resource groups led by Dr. Irvin and others are some of the best things we do. You know, groups that celebrate the identities of our employees, and this one celebrates the service of our employees. What you're seeing above, the Northern Illinois Food Bank, and that happened on April 1st. 11 members of the employee resource group packed a total of 627 pounds of Starbucks items, enough to provide 8,022 meals. So shout out to the employee service resource group. Before I give a shout out to our grants team, Chloe, Kate, and Heather, I want to say that the grants team has been at the center of 3 huge wins in these past 3 months. 3 months. Number 1, an allocation by Senator Durbin on his way out of the U.S. Senate, allocating $800,000 to support the Entrepreneurial Business Center. Huge amount for the EBC. Number 2, Congresswoman Underwood called me herself to let us know that she was allocating $2 million to support the Public Safety Institute and all of the equipment in it. Now, as part of that, there's a disclaimer there. As part of that, it's got to go through an additional appropriations process. The $2 million could turn into something other than $2 million. We're hoping not, but there's a possibility that that number goes down a little bit. Full disclosure to the college community. And of course, the third big win, the 8-figure state allocation from the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, our grants team working with our technical department and the administration to secure an 8-figure award from DCEO. So to our grants team, many thanks. Chairman, quick celebration of success. Again, we've got 2 months of this, so my apologies, but we're going to celebrate them. National Institute of Staff and Organizational Development, or NISOD. Their annual conference happens in Austin every year, actually around this time. It's probably happening next week, if not this week. These are the annual NISOD award winners. here at JJC. We've got Michael, Richard, Amanda, Cassandra, Nathan, Brenna, Tim, Pam, and not pictured here is Mary. On the student side, so Byron, Izzy is one heck of a basketball player. I think you know that. But Israel came back a national champion. So I want to acknowledge our JJC speech team. We've got Truett Benson, we've got Israel Falana, and Professor Golden pictured over there on the right-hand side. They represented JJC at the National College Speech and Debate Tournament in Washington, D.C. in April and came back with bronze medals in dramatic interpretation, a silver medal in poetry interpretation, and gold medals, national championships in prose interpretation and program oral interpretation. We are thrilled that JJC Speech and Debate is back in the national spotlight. But Chairman, that's not it. Skills USA Illinois State Welding Championships were held on April 24th. JJC had 7 students registered for this competition. As part of the qualification process, all participants were required to complete a written exam in February, and only the top 12 scores in the state advanced to the hands-on welding competition held in Peoria in April. And I'm pleased to report that all 7 of our students earned qualifying scores. Tyler got first place, Hayden got second, Mateo got 4th, Daniel got 6th, Armando got 7th, Jonathan got 8th, and Noah got 9th place, putting JJC Welding back on the statewide map.
Wonderful.
And before I go over, skip over to this slide here, I want to give a special shout out. Of course, this doesn't happen without our incredible faculty, right? So shout out to Jim Cebulski on that. Chairman, I know, normally you populate this slide, but we ran into several wolves in the wild over the last couple of months. Dr. Farmer and I ran into Sarah Spreitzer. Sarah is a vice president with the American Council on Education, the national advocate for colleges and universities. And Sarah got her start right here at JJC. So huge shout out to Sarah. If you do a quick search for her name, she's got a huge digital footprint. She's everywhere all the time, advocating for institutions of higher education. And she is becoming the resource when people ask the question that sounds a little bit like, when the federal government does this, what should we do? And so just a huge shout out to Sarah. I think many of you will recognize the next wolf in the wild. Big shout out to Dr. Tracy Morris. I think completing her 3rd year at IVCC, if I'm not mistaken, doing very well there. We had a chance to connect down in Springfield, and it's not a trip to Springfield without a selfie by Tracy Morris. And at President's Night at the Slammer Stadium, I got one of those famous questions, "Aren't you the president of JJC?" And Grace came up and told me how much she loves being a student at JJC. So kudos to all of you. And with that, Chairman, again, happy quasquicentennial. Thank you.
I think I was almost in that last selfie at the Slammers game.
Oh, see, I wasn't gonna.
I'll allow myself
I would like
on
to
that
know,
one.
I was at graduation, even though I wasn't in that picture somehow.
Oh,
And I was at
apologies.
that Grundy County meeting too.
Yes, thank
Somehow
you.
missed that.
Thank you,
picture,
Trustee
too.
Broderick. Thank you.
She walked off.
I took the elevator down. Nobody told me it was a picture.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And now the fun part, item 1.8. The chair is requesting the motion for a closed session discussion under 2C1, 2C2, 2C5, 2C6, and 2C8.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Do we have an agenda?
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee? Trustee McCollum?
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
So welcome back, everyone. We're going to item 1.9. I'm requesting a motion to return to public session.
Second.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 1.10.1, approval of minutes for the regular meeting held on March 11th, 2026.
So move.
Second.
Ready for a vote?
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 1.10.2, the approval of minutes for the regular meeting scheduled on April 15, 2026.
So move.
Second.
I have a comment. I'd like the trustee of Broderick and Lee, we did show up to show as not present, not as trustees, just absent, since you put Harris and Garcia Guillen in as that. Because we got any communication that you didn't have a quorum. The intention was to be there. I've never been late. And this time, if I had known there was a quorum issue, I would have ducktailed over here, but I was at another function too that I had to be at. So it's not that there was an intention not to be here. The intention was to be here. I wish we had been noted that there was not a quorum issue, because we showed up a little after 7. And security saw us too.
I don't think any of us knew there was a quorum issue until there was one, so.
Yeah, but if you waited around for an hour, as Jim said, all we needed to do was a text. I mean, Wonderlic always did that. If there's any problem with people showing up or whatever, and I think the problem was, there was 3 of you on premise, and Nancy wanted to be on video. Is that my understanding?
From last meeting?
Yeah.
Originally, yes, but then I wasn't available.
Okay. So I'm just asking to have our names put down under Diane and Trustee Harris and Trustee Garcia again.
We ready to vote on that?
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Will that be with the corrections that I stated?
That's not what the motion is.
Pardon me?
That's not what the motion is.
Then no.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 1.11, the approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? I keep asking for things to be put on the agenda, and I've gone through all of the policies and done whatever. What does it take to get something on the agenda? Because every time I've asked for something, and it's been 9 months out that I keep asking for things, nothing ever gets discussed, talked to, hello. I see you put this email out, which I give plenty of time to put the email out for, but I don't get any response as to what you need and what's up. Can we add it or not? Help me understand it.
So, for one, I'll give you one example. You want to change a policy that this board has approved within the last 12 months. You're calling for us to review a policy that's already in place, that's already had a vote. Why are we bringing it back? Because you didn't approve it the first time, you want to bring it back and discuss it again. The board has already discussed it. That's why that is not getting back on the agenda.
Jim's talking, I'm not talking.
This is still part of your time.
Then he should have a buzzer, a number up there. Because now you're taking away from my time.
No, your question is taken away from your time, and so was the answer.
Well, Jim, I'll tell you this. When you are doing this, and I asked for the revision of 01.11, which is the policy that has the verbiage of, that definitely causes exclusion of a trustee. I've had over 30 events that have happened that I've not received emails, not received any invitation, not been included in anything, and pictures that don't even show me with the group as a team. I go to lobby days and I'm not even included to be going there. I ask for emails. So yeah, it's something of a serious nature. And I did ask for the gift band and the ethics band of governance. I asked for a comparison of legal fees, which that was a concern because the contract ends 8/31 with KGG, and the branding cost for the logos. I thought that was fair. I didn't think there was anything. The use of O&M restricted funds were answered by Karen, that's good. But I'm asking for certain things because we're dealing with a lot of financial information, and I'd like to see what's going on with it. These are critical, but you don't even call me to ask me or talk to me about it. That would help.
You ask the same things over and over and over again.
Only because repetition is the only way things get done sometimes.
Again, though, when you're.
As a point of order, we should be discussing the agenda for tonight.
Yes.
That's what I'm-
Approval of the agenda.
Ready to vote?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Motion carries.
Item 1.12, the approval of consent agenda as presented.
So move.
Second.
I have items to be removed.
Item numbers?
These can all be lumped into one, which is 2.2.1 through 2.2.6, all of those. And they can be done in one motion. You can't lump them all in one motion if it's the same thing?
Nope.
They're different.
Okay, then do them individually. And then 2.3.1. 3.1, 3.2.5, 3.2.15, 3.2.16, 3.2.22, 3.2.23, 4.4, that's it.
But I would like to pull 2.4.2. As well as 4.2.2.
Any other items?
I do. Give me 1 second.
Oh, you do that. Trustee Lee, can you repeat the first one, please? I didn't write it down.
2.4.2. Maureen, you can reread all of yours again. I didn't catch half.
I have one, just one. 3.2.4.
And you also have one, correct, Trustee Morales?
Yeah, 3.2 point, oh, I see trustee Broderick already pulled it. Okay, she pulled the ones I was gonna ask about. Okay, I'm good.
You got the same one I had then?
A couple of them.
Okay.
Which one?
3.2.1. This one. Under the 3.2s.
I think in the spirit of making sure that we approve the consent agenda as presented, I think there'd be value in making sure that we list off all the items that are being pulled to ensure that nothing gets left off. I think that would have value,
Do you want me to list what I have?
if you would like to.
Okay. Is somebody gonna take notes, or am I just talking?
I got you.
I'm taking notes.
2.2.1, 2.2.2, 2.2.3, 2.2.4, 2.2.5, 2.2.6, 2.3.1, 2.4.2, 3.1, 3.25, 3.215, 3.216, 3.222, 3.223, 3.2.4, 4.2.2, and 4.4. You got-
That's what I have.
Where's 4.2?
I didn't hear 3.2.4, which was what Diane pulled, I believe.
Yeah, he stated
He
that.
did
after.
say it.
3.2.4 is on here.
He went in order of how they were done. And you did get 4.4.
Correct.
4.4, yes.
Okay.
So are we ready to take a vote on the other items?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia again.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
First pulled item is 2.2.1, recommending the approval of appointment of one full-time assistant professor of social and behavioral sciences tenure track.
So move.
Second.
My question, as I brought up through the finance area, through Karen Kissel, is it would be good to see what the old salary was versus what the new salary is, so we can see what the salary savings is. So if it could be put, and that's why I'm asking for all these to be put out and done, because it would be nice to see what our salary savings is on individuals. So that we know that we're putting it as a savings or use of a savings.
Trustee Broadway, I want to make sure I understand your question. Is it a question or a statement?
A statement that I
Okay,
think
thank you.
I think the board should see when it says that this person is retiring as of August 2025 at a salary of, and this is the salary for this person. I think that helps us then see what it is, so we don't have to go through this, that it's already documented. Because I think savings are what we need to see, because when you take people that have been experienced and then you bring in, for a term, long term, and you bring somebody new in, just to see what our savings is. Okay? And that's what I was doing on all of them in that area.
All right, I will follow with the finance team to see if that can happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's a good idea also, not just for savings, and not always will it be a savings, because I think sometimes we may hire people that really add a lot of value. And I mean, talent is gonna cost us, right? But at least we can see what the fluctuation is gonna
Sure.
be. So I would appreciate that as well. Thank you.
I
Thank you.
agree. Just stating a percentage of an increase is a lot different than an actual number.
Chairman, we can move on to the next
ready?
question,
Okay.
please. Thank
We
you.
have to
vote on this.
one.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia again.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 2.2.2, the recommending the approval of appointment of one full-time assistant professor of English, philosophy, and world languages tenure track.
So moved.
Second.
And this is a brand-new hire, correct?
Correct.
So when we do a brand-new hire, is there a need because of enrollment or a need because of additional classes?
So I want to clarify, that is a replacement,
It
not
is
a
a-
new.
okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the same upholds that I'm looking for what the other one was to what this new one is. Thank you.
Any questions? We're ready to vote, Karen.
Trustee Garcia again.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 2.2.3, recommending the approval of appointment of one full-time professor of nursing tenure track.
So moved.
Second.
I
Say-
do have a question. Does the rest of the board agree about just, wanting a number on there? I mean, we only kind of have a consensus of 3, and I think that if we don't have a consensus of more than that, we really don't see things happen on this board sometimes. So I'm just wondering the other trustees' opinions about wanting to see numbers in the board instead of just a percentage.
Dr. Farmer said she'd get back with us after talking with Karen to see what she could do for us on that.
I just wanted the other trustees' opinions.
I'd be more than happy to share mine. I think that'd be beneficial.
Yeah, especially when we're looking at budget issues, I think it's something you should be, notice it and see. Just same statement for the other one that I put for this was the replacement. Thank you.
We're ready to vote on 2.2.3.
Previous role?
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia again?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 2.2.4, recommending the approval of appointment of one full-time associate professor, GAP advisor, STEM mathematics, tenure track.
So moved.
Second.
This is a new position. So the reason for the new position, that's at 100,000, is for enrollment increase or need for class size or adjustment of schedule.
So this person is hired as a GAP advisor, which are faculty, but to get this position, there was another faculty position that we didn't think we needed as bad, and so we used that position for this one.
So we're not really out the money, we're just substituting. Thank you.
We're ready to vote, Karen?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia again?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 2.2.5, recommending the approval of appointment of one full-time assistant professor of nursing education, tenure track.
So moved.
Second.
This is the same replacement. We'll get the salary of the previous so that we can compare. Thank you.
Any other comments? No. We're ready to vote on 2.2.5.
Trustee Garcia again?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 2.2.6, recommending the approval of appointment of one full-time professor of business, tenure track.
So moved.
Second.
Same thing goes for this one. And due to the fact, and I'm just looking at this, because Wayne was with us so long, I'm sure his salary was here versus what the new one's coming in at, correct? Or am I incorrect on that? Because I see.
I think
she's
that's
at step 13, so I see that.
Yeah.
So she's not at the low, she's.
No, that's a good assumption. This is an adjunct. This adjunct does have
Oh, that's
24
right.
years of experience, so
Okay,
the person's not going to be on the lowest end, but not as far as Wayne.
got it, thank you.
Okay, we're ready to vote.
Trustee Garcia again?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next pulled item is 2.3.1. Recommending approval of the fiscal year 27 annual salary increase for eligible non-union full-time support staff.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and this is normal, it's going across, that we're not doing anything excessive, that we're keeping it straight and flat like the other areas that other schools are doing, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
I'm concerned about doing any salary increases when we're increasing our students' tuition. In my opinion, I'm wondering where the budget cuts are coming from. And, yeah, just gonna put that out there.
I'd like to just make a comment on that as well. We all want to support and invest in our employees, all of our staff, including providing fair compensation and raises when possible. But those investments must go hand in hand with a strong institutional focus on increasing enrollment and growing our student population. If enrollment continues to decline, we risk placing more and more of the financial burden on students through higher tuition. And that is something that we should work together to avoid. I believe people should be paid their worth. There is value in what the hard work that everybody does here. But every year, it's expected that the cost of living increases. People show up for work, and hopefully everybody's being impactful and is meeting their goals and their metrics. But we cannot say we're passing a balanced budget when in order to do that, we keep burdening the students for it. So just keep in mind that, we want to pay people and we want to pay them well. We are investing in our staff, but it cannot always be at the expense of students. Thank you.
We're ready to vote.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
No.
Trustee Morales.
Provided that we're implementing measures on people that are giving merit-based increases, yes, because if some people aren't pulling their slack, then they shouldn't get a raise.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next pulled item is 2.4.2, recommending approval of fiscal year 27 annual salary increase for eligible non-union part-time staff.
So moved.
Second.
I pulled this one for the same reason I voted no for the last one. We have a projected decrease in student enrollment over the next few years, and I think it is very, very irresponsible to keep raising everything and giving increases everywhere. And so we have to learn where to say no somewhere, and we can say no here tonight on this.
Any other comments or discussion? We're ready to vote, please.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
No.
Trustee Morales.
Provided we're following metrics and people that deserve raises are getting them, yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next pulled item is 3.1, the approval to pay the listing of bills for the period ending March 31st, 2026 and April 30th, 2026 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have given a list of bills that I have concerns and questions about, that I did get a response back from Dr. Namulo stating that it's board governance and all that stuff. However, I did speak to our Attorney General and to the ICCTA and to the ICCB. As trustees, we're allowed to see this stuff since we are working with a balanced budget and working with a budget currently that's up for discussion and approval. So the items that I've listed, which were, I'd like to see something regarding the KGG bills that I didn't get for this past month. I see that we have a lot of logo fees that I'm a little bit concerned about that, the logo fees, promotional folders, things of that nature, KGG's bills, and cloudy and plastic bags, and I had a lot of others from those under 5,000 too. Sponsorships are key, because sponsorships, according to the ICCB, we should be seeing if any of those fees are having an effect on any of the trustees, that we're being ethical about what we're doing, because for the most part, I constantly see, and I'm gonna say this I'm not trying to be anything but factual, but I see Trustee Harris going to everything. I see Trustee Bazinski and spouse going to some things. I see Trustee Garcia Guillen and spouse going to some things. And I see Trustee Alicia Morales and his husband going to some things. Trustee Lee and I aren't. Trustee Lee and I haven't gone to anything lately unless I paid for it. So we need to watch and make sure that we are following under the rules that are with regards to integrity of financial practices, responsible conduct involved with trustees, and established governance practices, and that the sponsorships are not doing anything to give a bias to those of you that vote yes and get to go to these things when Trustee Lee and I don't vote yes. So it is a concern, and I'm going to say that, and also the Lanier Mutual one that came up, we don't have an agreement with them, and I'd like to see the legal bill and what they're charging for $4,000 to $5,000 for that extra legal bill.
Any other discussion?
I'm also concerned about the logo bills. I know we had originally discussed possibly changing the name of JJC to JCC, Joliet Community College, instead of Joliet Junior College, and we all agreed against that. And now instead, it seems that we've come up with ways to spend more money changing our logo so that we can spend $200,000 on flyers and on, I can't, there is so many things to change when you change a logo. And again, I cannot consciously vote yes and constantly say yes, 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 yes. So whichever the one, which was the marketing and advertising or printing services, both of those, 3.2.22 and 3.2.23, no. Not when it comes to the logo, that we really did not, I don't feel like, have proper discussion over before that decision was made. And I'd like to hear on the other trustees, because I feel like there's also other things, which I will wait for them to come up on the agenda for us to talk about, that have been happening where, we're sending representatives of Joliet Junior College when the trustees are not aware of what's going on.
Any other discussion?
And I just think this, I
Wait,
think that,
wait, any other discussion before we go on to rebuttals? Okay, now you have rebuttal time.
I just think and I'm gonna say this because I know we got the rebranding thing that we approved. It said survey on there. I didn't know as a trustee that it was for rebranding a new emblem or whatever, logo. And normally all the schools bring the emblems or the logos so that we can see it and judge as a board whether we like it or not and vote which one we wanted. Which, when I started looking at what the costs were, was climbing over 200,000. I got concerned because we raised tuition, and yes, I voted against the tuition increase. And I just felt that, is that justified to the students that we did this? And do we really, because I have outrage of people that have said, why did you do it if you're raising tuition? So I'm bringing that up because that's a concern.
I would really like to hear the students' opinion on whether or not they would like to change the, emblem of the school or raise tuition. And this is what I'm talking about, where can we cut the budget and stop just saying yes, 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 yes.
I'd like to comment. This was discussed many, many evenings. It was even presented to the board that this is what we were thinking of doing. I believe it was Kelly.
KRT.
Kelly
KRT.
Roder Tonelli.
And it came up more times than once. So I have to defend that because the board did know. The board did know. So
Well,
we did know. Now, of course, we didn't know the cost, but we knew that there was going to be a logo change. Now, I mean,
Any
I
financial
correct?
decision over $5,000 is supposed, I'm sorry, we hired it to 10 or 20,000 now that the president can do on
I'm
his own?
still speaking, please. So could any other trustee confer that we did know? At least trustee Morales?
I do recall Ms. Roder Tonelli talking to us about it, and quite honestly, I connected that to changing the name, to removing community or junior college out, and maybe changing that to community. That's what I was looking forward to. I was kind of a little surprised when I saw, and maybe I might have missed the meeting. I'm sorry if I missed it. But that's when I approved it. I thought I was approving the name of the change of the name, not so much our logo. To me, a logo is, it's okay. It's not top priority, but
Okay.
the name, because we've always said that the name, maybe a lot of high school students don't want to come here because they don't want junior, on their diploma or what have you. So I thought we were changing the name.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
And it could be my error.
Okay, and just to, am I still on my time? Just to clarify, the name did come up, and we followed up And she followed up with the logo as
I do
well.
like the new
So
logo.
all
I
of
even put a
that,
bumper sticker on my car for this now. So.
yeah. And I mean, it's created and we're
But
using it.
If it's
So-
going to create an expense and burden the students, I think I would have probably chosen to spend money elsewhere.
Dr. Namur, if I, if I,
Mr. Chairman, and before I toss it
Go
over
ahead,
to
thank you.
Dr. Frommer, I am going to put Trustee McCollum on the spot a little bit,
Yes,
just so
please
he's
do so.
on deck to share the student's perspective
Yeah,
on this. But let me toss it over to Dr. Frommer to reply.
So really, board members, I just want to stress that we anticipated that this would be a significant hot topic this evening. So I just want to stress to everyone today that the logo, the creation of the logo, is the outcome of the branding and perception study. So board members, if you recall, phase 1 of the branding perception study, remember we contracted with Simple Truth, and this was approved by the Board of Trustees on December 14th of 2022. Okay, you remember that. That phase really focused on understanding JJC's brand awareness, messaging effectiveness, and overall market perception. That was the first phase of the perception study. The second phase of the brand and refresh in targeted communication was by Vision Point. And if you recall, board, you approved that on December 11th of 2024. That phase transitioned the college from research, because we did all the research with the branding and perception study, into execution. And this is one reason why we developed the logo. That's just one outcome of the branding and perception study, that was implemented in 2022.
Again,
So I just want to stress that.
I feel like there was some confusion. As she said, we thought we were talking about a name rebranding, and instead we ended up with a logo rebranding. And either way, again, a financial decision that once, or being brought the logos to be able to talk and discuss before one is just chosen. These are all things that should have been brought to the board, in my opinion, after to follow up on that phase 3 then, not just choosing a logo, but saying, hey, what do you guys think about this? And do you think it's okay to spend $200,000 on this? Because yes, we approved a study. The reason we were hesitant to go and to change the name is also because of the amount of money that it would have cost us to do that. And then instead of changing the name, we said, you know what, we're gonna go change the logo, but you didn't really confront the board about that. And I know, yes, there were some meetings about the rebranding and the phase 2, but never do I remember as specifically saying, we're going to come out with a new logo. Here's the different logos that we're thinking about doing, and then a finality of this is the logo that we're going with. So I am definitely taken back, and I would have voted no, especially with the student tuitions increase.
And just so it's a refresher of those that weren't on the board in 2022, Dr. Mitchell had brought it back, so that's why we were looking to get rid of the junior college, because the ICCTA had recommended it, but we didn't know if it was going to be a change in our, our
Branding.
Instead of 1901, it would have been a different date, because Joliet Junior College, because that's what they were concerned about. Would it change the date of our start date? And I think too, when KRT brought it to us, all I heard was the names and the what was it called? The names or the initials or whatever. I didn't hear a logo. I didn't hear the word logo. So I got to say, every time it was brought to us, all I heard was names. I didn't hear the actual logo itself. So when I look at a survey and I see what it says, branding, some of us don't understand, other than branding could be anything related to the name change or the insignia change that's on the monuments, but there's a lot of cost whenever you do something like this.
So can I say that unfortunately Kelly Roder-Tonelli is not with us today, but there's someone who is here today that was very instrumental in moving this project forward. I want to introduce everyone to Robin Ballard that could provide a little bit more insight regarding the branding and perception study. And I'll have you go ahead and jump in, Robin, please.
Yes, please. Please go to the podium.
Good evening. My second time at the mic tonight.
Wait, I need to stop here. We are off onto a branding conversation. We're here to approve the listing of bills, not to rehash the whole branding argument. So I'd like to bring us back to that, or we're going to be here till 11, 12 o'clock. And I just got a shaking head no from our student trustee, but
I can come back.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I don't mean to stop you.
No,
but-
please.
Yeah, please stop you. Sit down. But no, I'd like to get back to approving the listing of bills.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we ready to vote?
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we're ready to vote.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Only if it's identified that we get information on the bills that have been asked for.
That's
Is that
not
a
in the
yes or no?
motions.
I'm saying that, yes, if I get those. Alicia made a comment, I'm making a comment. I'd like to receive the bills, copies of those things that I've asked for.
But are you saying yes to the motion?
Yes, if I get those,
Okay.
yes.
Next.
Qualifying it.
Trustee Garcia again.
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
No.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next pulled item is 3.2.5, cold weather battery gridless camera. 2.4?
Yeah.
Well,
3.2.4 was also pulled.
yeah, it was, came in later. That was mine.
Yeah, that's hers, 3.2.4. Right.
Yeah, just put a cookie in my mouth.
Yep, I do have it down here. 3.2.4,
Okay.
enterprise backup solution software.
So move.
Second. Discussion.
Excuse me, I had just put a cookie in my mouth. Yeah, I was concerned about the contract amount in the year with an annual 6% escalator. So my question is how did we determine a 6% escalator? And was it requested? Yeah, I'll just leave it there. How did we determine a 6% escalator?
Dr. Farmer? It's a negotiation with the vendor. So we do our best to negotiate with them what the escalation is going to be, but ultimately it's an agreement we have with the vendor after negotiation.
Okay, is my thing, is that quite high? I mean, 6%, I guess I'm thinking along the lines with, you know, like it was mentioned that we did raise tuition, but I was just thinking that the 6% escalator is high.
I understand what you're saying, Trustee Harris. And talking to the procurement team, what they're saying is 10 to 12% for escalations on an annual basis, and they were able to get this down to 6.
Oh, I see. So it was negotiated lower than what it was originally.
Correct.
Yeah.
I have questions on
That's-
this also. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say that I was just wondering how that came about because I just thought it was high. But of course, I didn't know that it started at 10. But, you know, I guess because it's an annual and it's 6% and, you know, do we have a way to measure whether they've completed that after a year? Or is it written in the contract that they will get that anyway?
That they'll get the 6%?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's in the contract.
So is there anything that we have written that we will determine whether it's met, that we can determine whether they've done what they were supposed to do?
We do track all the vendors' performance, and if there's an opportunity where a vendor's not meeting performance, we make the necessary adjustments.
Okay, and that adjustment would be?
If we needed to change to a different vendor, we would separate from them and choose somebody else.
I see. Okay, well, thank you. That was all I needed to know right now.
Trustee Morales?
Yes, is this something that we put out for bid?
It was a consortium purchase, so we were able to get a reduced cost because we leveraged buying with other institutions that are part of that consortium.
So this company is doing pretty good because they're getting a bunch of institutions to sign up, correct? And we're part of that?
We are part of other institutions that have signed up to use this vendor, yes.
Which I don't understand in that case, why, it says the contract term, 2 years with optional renewals
up to a total of 5 years
Correct.
with a 6% escalator. I think we need to do better than just automatically, because there was a lot. I saw this since last month's board book that we reviewed, which now we're approving this month because of lack of a quorum. Now, we have a ton. We're supposed to approve millions and millions of dollars at tonight's meeting for last month and this month alone. And I saw that is very common with a lot of the contracts, is that we're automatically giving them like 5 and 6% escalators. And I don't feel comfortable because 5 years from now, we're gonna be told, well, back in 2026, you approved it. So we wanna make sure that what we're approving is what we're agreeing to. And I don't know that I wanna agree to 6% escalators for the next 5 years, without really knowing what's happening every year with these vendors. That's my comment. Thank you.
But this should be brought back to us though after the 2 years to see if we want to renew, because it's an optional. When we have an option, it should be coming back to the board to review.
No, it doesn't
Why
come
not?
back to the board.
Why not?
You're giving us an opportunity to continue this contract for 5 years. So it's for 2 years, and then for additional increments up to 5 years, a total of 5 years. And that's college policy.
Can you unpack where it says on that same one, contract amount 200,400 per year, but then,
So the existing contract that we're presenting to you right now with Common Vault is going to replace Backup Fi, Norwalk, Connecticut, and a portion of CDW's Azure programming. So it's going to replace that. It's more modern.
so what are we paying total for the next 5 years?
We're paying $89,000 to Common Vault CDW and a portion of the CDWG Azure for the other backup.
200,000?
Azure. No, we're not paying $200,000.
So what is that amount? What does that mean then? 200,400 per year?
Chris is coming to the podium.
I don't have an exact number. We use Azure for a lot of things. Microsoft, where we're logging in, it's cloud-based, makes our systems work. If we lose power or something goes wrong here, we're gonna have less data because we're using Commvault, so we'll have less data traffic. I can't give you an exact number tonight right off the top of my head, but we will save money from that 200,000.
Thank you.
And keep in mind what this program does. Backups our OneDrive accounts, our Teams environments, email. So every FOIA request that we get and we have the pull email, it'll make that process more efficient. And it's going to be a time saver on staff time.
Thank you.
I have a question,
I don't know
Chris.
if he answered what that amount is then. Why is it on the paper and what is that amount?
I don't have the exact number. What we will save out of that 200,400, I don't have an exact number what that'll be. It'll be lower, and the money we're paying for Backupify will be zero. That product will be gone. So Commvault will replace Backupify and lower our Azure cost as part of the process.
Okay, but the way that this is worded on this paper and the way that we have to approve this, the way it's looking to me on the paper is that the contract amount is $200,400 per year.
That was
and
last-
then there's a note and it says, please note that the backup portion is only a part of the total Azure program cost. So it's like, and after everything that we've been through with some of these vendors and things recently, I mean, and them promising that things are gonna work out and then things not working out, I am definitely very hesitant to vote yes as well, especially with a 6% I just am. Now, I also know that there has been a lot going on with hacking of school systems, and I do know that we need security, but I also agree with Alicia, like, why are we just handing this over because so many people are getting, like, I don't know, I kind of would like to see more data on different companies that handle this, and why are we choosing this company? You know, if we're gonna be approving stuff like this for millions of dollars, and I don't know, guys, I don't know.
How many are involved in the consortium?
What do you mean by that? How many have access?
Schools.
to
How many
this
are
information?
included in this
Other
consortium?
schools.
1 second. How many organizations are involved in this particular consortium? He said hundreds.
Hundreds.
So to clarify this conversation, all we're approving right now is the 89,000, correct?
Nope.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but this
Yeah.
is
Yes.
part of it.
Yes, and this
No.
has been reviewed by our IT professional staff who have looked at all the different vendors and selected this one. This is going to be about the same cost, but it's a far superior product that we're going to be using to back up all of our systems. And this has been reviewed by our IT staff.
So the 200,000's already been approved, that's
Yeah,
in
that's
place.
what, right. And
That's in
so-
place, but will be reduced significantly. That's the number that Chris doesn't have in front of him.
And that's discussions, we haven't done this overnight, so Backupify, we almost brought to you last year to get rid of. But timing did not make it work that way, so we renewed for 1 year, and the team independently found Commvault to be probably the one that we knew we wanted, the kind of the best that would work for us. So when that happens, we often call Matt's office and ask, is this part of a consortium? We don't go to the consortium and then pick the product because it's on the list, it's the other way around. We select a product that's gonna meet the needs, and then look and see if a consortium is an option. And usually the consortium, I mean, that's what they're there for, is to be lower price and save money.
Right.
So we pick the product first.
Okay, I just wanted to ask another question just so that I'm certain as to understanding, because this was my question. So what we're saying is the $200,400 was what we originally had, or what we originally purchased to work for us.
So partially. So the 200, it's a system from Microsoft Azure, it's their product, and that cost is the 200,400. So that will decrease because some of our use of that is going to go down with the better product, the better, just say, use of the data and the way it's gonna work. If you look right above that, there's the Backupify, the first 4 bullet points under recent purchase activity. We will not have Backupify. So Commvault was what we're asking you to approve tonight, is replacing Backupify, so that $2,000 a month, that it's a savings of $24,000, that is not gonna be renewed come, I think it's the end of June when our contract expires.
Okay,
So we're saving the
You said that
24,000 and then some of the Azure cost,
And you said that contract's up in June of what year? I'm sorry to hear.
26. And so if we don't approve this, we would likely have to renew that, because we need some kind of backup and restoration system.
Thank you for that explanation. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Is there a guarantee that we are going to pay them an additional 6% escalator per year?
Most
Is
of
that why
that's
that's
always in the
built-
Yeah,
contract.
she said it's in the contract.
Just for the first 2. There's no guarantee after that. We're going to negotiate.
Okay. Thank you for
Chairman, any
answering.
additional questions regarding this particular topic?
I don't have any
I have
more.
a quick question / comment. I professionally work with consortiums in my day job, and it's super common. I've regularly found professionally in my world, they do end up with a lower cost, even going out to bid. The purchasing power that you get when you band together is really meaningful and impactful. A 6% escalator seems in line with what I'm seeing right now, but again, local government, community college, similar but different. I think that my one request, and I believe that our staff already does this, and I guess this is my question. Our contract term, obviously 2 years with optional renewals. After the 2 years, and this goes for this contract as well as for any other one, when we hit the end of our initially contracted term, before we go ahead and rebid or re-sign and re-up for another year, I'm assuming we take a critical look at our contracts, look around at industry standards to see if there's competitive prices, if we could go elsewhere. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect, thank you.
We're ready to vote.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia again.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee Buzinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Now we're on to item 3.2.5, cold weather battery gridless camera.
So moved.
Second.
My question is, we approved the thing in September of 2025. Did this get omitted? Or what, how are we following up all of a sudden with this one with 129,000? Because it seems to be related to the camera. There's a lot of camera.
We have a
stuff going
significant portion of cameras on campus, over 700, and we have a regular schedule of when cameras go off warranty and they need to be replaced. So this is a common replacement that every year we replace a certain number of cameras to make sure we have the most modern technology
Would we
that's
not have
available.
bought this in September, though?
Pardon, this is just a similar purchase we made in September. So we just tried to show you a comparative purchase. So it's not for the same cameras, it's for a different group of cameras that needed to be replaced.
This is for 10 specific ones at the Romeoville parking lot outside Romeoville campus.
Okay, because that doesn't, I mean, I don't see that identified. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
We're ready to vote on 3.2.5.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Broderick?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Buzinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item is 3.2.15, employee benefits broker and consulting services.
So moved.
Second.
On this one, all I see is you recommended, but I don't see any of the other ones that weren't recommended, the cost. How do we assess that without seeing the actual cost? It would be nice to see that. So that we're justified in saying, yes, 74,919 versus what it was, 65,868.
Trustee Broderick, when we take these kind of evaluations, it's not based on lowest cost. We base it on a criteria of what this particular organization or organizations provide in services to our institution. We've used Gallagher for quite a few years. They've been competitive, but they've provided us a level of services that has been kind of second to none in terms of us looking at brokerage services for benefit management.
Okay, because when you put in here in competitive rates, I don't know what that means when I'm looking at the statement that they provide slate of broker services and competitive rates. How do I know they're competitive with these other four? That's what I'm saying. Because when I see that in there, you're red flagging it to me. I'm looking at competitive rates.
Okay.
So as a financial background, I'd like to see what the competitive rates are. I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, for us, when we see the word competitive rates, I'd like to know if they're really competitive.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Any other comments on 3.2.15?
Again, this one states here 74,919 per year with annual 5% increase. Is that something that they asked for?
The procurement staff said they negotiated the increase down to 5% from what they originally offered.
Do we try to ask them for a flat fee? Because everyone's automatically wanting to give themselves a raise for the next 5 years guaranteed, regardless of performance. It seems kind of, I don't know, silly if we're just gonna approve it. We should at least push for a flat rate if they want the contract.
Because we had one before of the flat rate for 5 years.
There's just way too much greed out there. I'm sorry.
Are we ready to move forward?
Any other questions, comments? Ready to vote, Karen?
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Abstain.
Trustee Morales?
I'm not happy with the 5% increase, so I'm gonna vote no.
Trustee Broderick?
No.
Trustee Garcia Guillen?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Buzinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item is 3.2.16, grant consulting.
So move.
Second.
My question is this, is it the foundation that has the grant writer, or do we have the grant writer? Who does the grant writing that we have currently?
The foundation, it reports directly to the foundation.
To the foundation. So if we have this person that's gonna be part-time doing this, does that get charged to the foundation or to us? Because
It's been charged to the grants,
through the grant?
yes.
So we won't be picking this
So
up?
when we apply for a grant, there's an opportunity to use some of the funding for grant consulting. That's what we're
Good.
using it for.
I'm good, thank you.
Any other questions? No. We're ready to vote 3.2.16.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item is 3.2.22, marketing and advertising.
So moved.
Second.
Well, I'm on with the, what's our return of investment? And I keep looking at how now it has it seems like everything's adding an escalator, which I'm not a fan of. And that bothers me when I look at what the cost is and I look at what are we getting out of it? Where is our return of investment on it? So I would like to see, and I know KRT had done at one point in time shown us what was going on with our different investments on marketing. And I looked at the marketing budget issue, so that does show me a little bit of concern because it keeps escalating. So I'd like to see if we can get this to look at and see what's really going on with our return of investment.
If we were ever gonna turn something back and say, hey, let's look at the escalators on this, I mean, marketing and advertising, we have a decrease in enrollment students, over the next few years. I really think that we definitely should rethink escalating that 5% every year, guys. I really think we should think about this one.
So I will say we can commit to providing an update for marketing creative services, and we can talk a little bit about the return on investment. But for tonight, I just want to remind the board that this is something that we've implemented. It's a little bit different this year. You notice that we have a series of marketing initiatives that we want to move forward for your approval. And there's a 5% escalation that is built in, but I want to stress to everyone this evening that we were very strategic of building in that 5% increase, but that's somewhat of a self-imposed increase that we added just in case the marketing continues to increase from a JJC standpoint. So I just wanted to stress that today.
Because we do pay out a lot on the marketing side of it, as the marketing budget looks at, and all these things, this is part of it, plus the Google and all that, all the social media that we're on too. And if we're looking at budget issues, that's gonna be one of the hot topics we're gonna delve into.
Are we ready to go? Real quick, if we find that one of these vendors is no longer honoring their contract, even though this 3.2.22 will probably pass today, we still have the option, administration has the option, can still check and see if that contract is doing what it's supposed to do, and if it's not, then you reserve the right to terminate contracts.
Correct.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because, 5% escalators again, everyone wants more money, but yet students get ready because y'all gonna pay for it.
Basically.
And Trustee Morales, we've exercised that right with some of our vendors.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're ready to vote on 3.2.22.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
No.
Trustee Lee.
No.
Trustee Harris.
Abstain.
Trustee Broderick.
No.
Trustee McCollum.
Abstain.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
This is too much.
3-3. 3-3-1. The one doesn't count though.
Because you don't.
If I could have a moment, please.
Motion passes.
How does
Just
it
a point
pass?
of clarification, how was that a motion passing?
According to ACCT, when you abstain, silence means consent. It goes with the majority.
But there
There is no majority. It's 3-3-1-1.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yep,
Yeah,
you're right.
sorry.
No,
I thought it was 3-2.
It's 3-3-1.
So are we allowed to discuss this anymore without any additional votes tonight?
During trustee comments, you could.
Okay.
So then this one's motion fails.
Thank you, Elaine, for that clarification.
Just really like Robert's Rules of Order, which is sad.
Next item is 3.2.23, printing services.
Second?
Okay, I guess I'm looking for cost. And Jim, I know you have a better handle sometimes on this stuff, because this was a prior thing that you did, printing.
Yeah, and that's why I have to abstain from this. I can't really vote on a matter when it regards former employers
Okay,
or
'cause
competitives. So
Well, I'm just concerned about, I don't see any cost. I see recommend of all these ones. Could somebody please explain why all, and it's not just one or two? I see that we have 3-year contract. I don't see anything with a consortium or anything. Help me understand this one.
I have Robin explain that one, please.
Robin, your turn.
Time number 3 for those counting. For printing, we go out to RFP every few years, and we ask that vendors then apply. And what that does is once we award it, we can go out and ask each individual one, depending on the project that marketing is doing, or community ed, or anyone else in the institution can use these vendors then. The 160 is just about how much we could be awarding in a year, depending on projects and the load that it bears. Does that help?
Yeah, so does that include like the pamphlets that come out with the schedules of classes and everything?
That's some of our big mailers. That's the Connections magazine that you get in the mail, postcards, things that the internal print services just can't do because they're servicing the entire institution. This just gives us the chance to be able to use all kinds of different vendors. That's why we like to award it to a variety of printers so that we have the option to be able to use which best serves that project.
So that's why it's just multi-purpose to
Correct.
get all of them approved.
Yes,
So
so
that
that
you don't have to worry about which
Yeah.
vendor you're gonna use.
Yeah, it doesn't slow us down.
All right, I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question also. So the 160,000, well, first, if you can answer my question.
Sure.
I thought we printed everything in-house.
No, we print a lot in-house. For marketing, we probably print 75 to 80%, but things like your Connections magazine that's 32 pages and is mailed out to 20,000 homes can't be printed in-house. It just would take them offline for everything else that the institution needs. So there are particular large mailers that really do need that specialized large print service.
Okay.
But if they can do it in-house, we use it in-house because they are phenomenal and it's a huge cost savings for us.
Is that the unit that's in Unit J? that you
Yes.
use? He's brilliant.
Yeah, they're wonderful. They're our best partner.
Okay, thank you.
we're ready to vote on 3.2.23.
Trustee Garcia again.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Pass.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
No.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Abstain.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I think the next item should be 3.6. We should stay in the order of the agenda. I know those aren't on the consent agenda, so I think we should do 3.6, 3.7, then come back to 4.2.2.
3.6, 3.7.
Yeah, because they're not on the consent agenda. Okay.
So We're not gonna do the pulled items. You wanna go to 3.6 and 3.7 now?
Do 3.6, yeah, go in the order of the agenda, correct?
The order.
Okay,
Right?
okay,
Yep, that's next.
okay. Item 3.6, Board of Trustee approval for the tax abatement, Project Northwinds, Will County, Illinois.
So moved.
Second.
I think Kayla gave a good description of what it was and what the return would be. I have no problem with it.
Any comments, questions? We're ready to vote, Karen.
Trustee Bonnemly,
Yes.
Trustee Harris,
Yes.
Trustee Broderick,
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Guillen,
Yes.
Trustee Lee,
Yes.
Trustee Morales,
Yes.
Trustee McCollum,
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the dates will get changed then to 5/20 on this one then?
Item 3.7, Board of Trustee approval of the resolution to adopt tentative fiscal year 2027 budget and placement of the budget on public display.
So moved.
Second.
I just want to make some comments on it. I definitely would like to see a meeting, even though you guys say no, no, no. I think we do need a meeting. And I want to go back through this, that if we still have issues going on that we can't get resolved by the next month meeting, the Illinois Public Community College Act 110 ILCS under 805/7-8 and 3-20.1, board may suspend final adoption of an annual budget until sometime within the first quarter, effective by 9/30. So I'm mentioning that in case we don't get resolution on this, that it can be suspended. There is no, it follows the Illinois Public Community College Act.
Any other comments?
I also thought we were supposed to have a meeting on the finance budget. From what I remember, we had all talked about that, and we were supposed to have a specific meeting with all of us together. What does anybody on the finance committee remember that? Yes. So is there a reason that we didn't get together and kind of go over the budget, and so that these meetings aren't so long and we're not, you know, going over our questions? Is there, why are we putting the budget on the board book without having that meeting that we all said we were going to have?
Well, can I respond to that?
Sure.
It was just discussed here tonight. There was a meeting planned, and whoever was to show up.
There was finance.
No, she's talking about the last board meeting was scheduled. We had to cancel because we didn't have a quorum. I immediately asked for another special meeting, and then no one was willing to meet with us. I got pushed back from, well, it's Friday, it's the end of the week, it's got to be on a Wednesday. And that ended up getting canceled because that wasn't going to have enough support. So you guys keep asking for meetings, but you're not showing up to meetings ever. You don't let us know you're not going to come. Then when we schedule them, you tell us you can't make it. You make it impossible to schedule. Karen has sent emails out. The day in question when nobody showed up, we actually reached out to two of you to see if we would have enough for a quorum. And we were told.
Was that on the agenda of that specific meeting? Was there a meeting specifically
talking
for
about the
finance?
budget since January.
We're talking, no, was that meeting, or what, either the meeting that we left, or was it on the agenda for us to specifically talk about finance at that meeting? Was that what the agenda was about?
No, my response is
No,
that
it
I
wasn't.
keep
So now
trying to
you're-
schedule meetings and no one shows up.
We clear our schedules for Wednesdays because Wednesdays are typically, so having a Friday meeting is particularly hard, clearly for all of us if you weren't able to get the meeting. So maybe we need to work within the trustees' allotted schedules a little bit better. So sorry that Friday didn't work, but either here nor there, because the finance meeting that we were supposed to have for this to be on the budget never happened and wasn't scheduled and wasn't on the agenda for that day.
If I can interject something here. So as chair of the finance committee, I can tell you and rest assured that Trustee Bottomley and I attended the meeting. With the finance committee, well, we are the finance committee, but with our, Karen Kissel and members of the finance team, and we went over everything line by line. We vetted the budget heavily. We asked a lot of questions. As you can see here, we're still asking questions on things. But I do know that Chairman sent an email to everybody to please get any questions you had to the Finance Committee ahead of time. I don't know if you all checked your emails, but there was an effort from the chairman to have everybody send their questions, comments, concerns to the Finance Committee. And we asked a lot of really good questions to make sure that we are being fiscally responsible and good stewards of our taxpayers and also of our students. So I just want you to know that Elaine and I did do the best that we could in vetting this, the budget.
I appreciate all your guys' work on the finance committee. I'm just saying that we had came to a consensus on this board in a public meeting that we needed to have a specific meeting to talk about the budget before the budget was brought to the board, and that never happened. And I'm just asking why, because I never did receive an email saying, hey, can you make it to this specific meeting for finance? You know, because if it's important, I do come, okay? And I can watch all of the closed sessions and, you know, listen to the speeches in the very beginning. I have decided not to put the speeches in the president's report and all of that above my job, and I can watch them from home. I come here to do my job and to vote as a trustee after being harassed by this board, and that is my rightful thing to do, is to choose my job over getting harassed at public comment and in closed session.
I'm going to add one thing too, Alicia. In regards to the fact that you and Trustee Bottomley did go through all the questions, it would have been nice if, yes, I saw the email from the chair, but I was down at lobby days. There's no way I could make it back at the 4 whatever. You guys went, what, 2.5 hours, which is great. I wish it was taped so that we could see it. But did either of you ask? Because last June, we got a consensus that everybody wanted that meeting. And it was going to go to finance to have a meeting for all of us. That was what, and I did send that in the transcript that came out of it. Did either of you ask for this other meeting? Because this would prevent June's meeting from going so long.
Thank you, I appreciate the concern. And no, we did not ask for another meeting because you have a senior member on the board, along with Trustee Bottomley, and we were hoping that if there were questions, they would have been submitted to us. But I think if we were in that meeting for 2.5 hours, just the two of us, we got a lot of questions answered, and we feel confident in the budget that's being proposed.
But see, you two know it then. We don't have that opportunity.
I understand.
Which, if it was videotaped, we could have watched it. And maybe that's something that we should move to do on important meetings like that, because then maybe it wouldn't be necessary. We'd see what you raised. But we never got the budget ourselves that we could look at to ask questions.
Understood.
Because I
I
sure
think-
would love to ask questions, because I already had some
Right.
that I've seen now from this.
We'll keep that in mind. We'll videotape it next time. I think you're right. Thank you.
Can I add? I for the record, because our finance committee meetings aren't taped, we have the meeting minutes, of course, it will approve. I did request a meeting. I did request a committee of the whole to go through it. I think that, you know, I feel like I'm going to sound like the 2025 version of myself. I think that having a committee of the whole as an opportunity to really go through and talk through the budget is valuable. I appreciate the work that Trustee Morales and I did at Finance Committee. I think it has value. I think it's an important step. Obviously, our budget process is lacking something. It's not just one person that's saying, hey, I'm missing something. Hey, I wish this was something more. So just like last year at this time, I will say it again. I think that there's room for improvement in our budgeting process. So for our budgeting process next year, I would really love to see a committee of the whole established. I think that would really be helpful in this process. I think that it would cut down on consternation that happens. Again, I recognize that it's an open invite to come to Finance Committee. It's an open invite for any of our committees. They're public meetings. Anyone can come. To me, the limiting factor on that is that at Finance Committee, the only people with time to really directly ask questions and go back and forth are the committee members. A committee of the whole would allow us to actually have an in-depth conversation. And I think that it's also hard to go ahead, and Trustee Morales has already shared, and I'll share this as well. No one shared questions with us about the budget, which I understand, because how can you get questions about the budget when you haven't seen anything? And I think that is just frankly setting us up as trustees for failure. I think that there's definitely room for us to do better, and I know that we will next year, so.
Yep, thank you.
I do have one question. When you guys met, because I didn't see it, did you send something to the other trustees so that we knew what you guys discussed? Did we get that?
Oh, did we send something to you about the discussions?
Yeah.
No, that will be in the minutes that we have not even seen at this point. what I'm saying is that chairman sent an email to the board letting them know that we were gonna be meeting with, about, to talk, the finance committee was gonna meet to go over the budget, and if you all had any questions, to send them to us so that we can entertain that at that time. But no,
Right,
so
but
far,
when you met, and then when you guys met.
no, we have not published anything out to the board
Okay.
yet.
I'm more than happy to take some ownership on that. I had full intention to kind of type up a summary of my questions, the responses, but I mean, we all know that
I
we all have
understand. I
other
was just
lives outside
asking.
of this board, so I wasn't
Yeah.
able to get around to
Okay,
it. So
okay.
I will take ownership of that, and I apologize. So
Can we also do this, since it's a hot topic? I have to go check the agendas to see what's on it. Maybe if the board would, the trustees would get, at least when there's a meeting put up and posted, we could at least see the agenda sent to us, and that way we know what's on the agenda, and then we don't have to wonder or squirm to figure out what's on it or not. You know, I think that would be another resource.
I can ask that the agenda be sent to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get back to item 3.7.
Mr. Chairman, may I please make a comment?
Sure.
I'd like to point out to the board that this is approval of a tentative budget. This is not the final budget. It can be amended at any time, even at the next meeting, but this is just the tentative approval that allows it to then be put onto public display, so people can look at it and start, people in the public can have an opportunity to view it and maybe make comments to you. So I just want to make that clear.
Oh, yeah, thank you. That is just a tentative. We have not approving the budget yet, so we can still make amendments to it.
So would you like to still see some comments coming from us then?
Absolutely.
When it's, now that we have it in front of
Yes,
us?
absolutely.
Because then it would be more
I
forward.
welcome that very much. Thank you.
Okay, good, excellent.
Ready to vote?
You're ready to vote.
Trustee Garcia again.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Pazinski.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next pulled item is 4.2.2, which is the annual position. Sorry. The annual position review request process for an administrator, professional, or non-union employee.
So move.
Second.
Is this in addition to the existing employee review process that we currently have?
Going to have Mark Mercy answer that question. Mark?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Is this a policy in addition to the existing employee review process that we have?
This is an existing policy. It's not a new policy.
No, but it's changed. Almost every single word in the policy is pretty much grayed out and it's rewritten essentially. So basically, the original policy was request for upgrade or reclassification, and now it is called the annual position review request process. And, I'm just gonna be upfront with everybody, and, I won't sit here pussyfoot around what I'm trying to say. I'm worried about this policy because it basically is giving, so if you are meeting the criteria of the current review process, this policy is still making it to where you need to be reviewed, and you can actually, it's the biggest change is that you can be downgraded now, not just upgraded. And so I'm not sure, in this, the way this policy reads now, if you, do you want to, I don't know if you have the board book in front of you, would you like me to read it out loud?
No, I know what you're talking about.
So, I don't know. I have been targeted. I have been harassed by the administration of this college, and I am worried that this policy will use the opportunity to downgrade somebody in their position for not listening to the administration. And I'm just going to put it out there and be very quite honest with you. I don't agree with it, and I'll be voting no. Thank you.
No. So what this policy is it's an annual review that is initiated by the employee, not the manager or the staff. So
every year, and we do this also with our union. The TASC union has this in their contract. So every year, we have an annual review process. Employees have an opportunity to bring forth a request to have their position reviewed based on the fact that they are taking on additional duties or responsibilities.
Right, and that's what I'm worried, because never would an employee go to their employer and ask them, and it's still my time, and ask them to downgrade their position, I don't feel like. And so I'm just a little bit worried about the verbiage in this policy. And I'm just being honest with everybody and everything that I've experienced at this college, and the verb, everything has changed about this policy, the way it's worded. I don't like the way that it's worded. Bottom line, I will be voting no.
I can share my only example is over the last 10 years I've been involved with these reviews. We've done hundreds of reviews over the last 10 years since I've been with the college. Not once has an employee submitted a review that has resulted in a downgrade.
So why put it in the policy? That's what I'm worried about. We don't need it there. And if that has never happened, why is it written in this policy? Because it seems like to me that gives the administration the power to downgrade you if you come to them asking for more, for more, almost like a punishment, like, no, you don't deserve more, and in fact, I'm going to downgrade you. I am worried about the wording in this policy.
I have a question.
Yes.
My question to you is, okay, maybe it doesn't fall under this, but what if your management person has taken duties away from you? Do you get then, and it's not inclusive in your job description anymore, is there a down to that position, downgrade level on that then? Because if somebody has this many job responsibilities and all of a sudden half of it's cut, does that person go down to a different level?
That has happened in the past, but it has more to do with performance than it has to do with managers simply taking away job duties. But we have had instances in the past where employees were not performing and functions of their job were taken away. And as a result, we've had to review job descriptions, titles and grades, and there have been downgrades, but it was more of a performance related issue and has nothing to do with this policy, which is giving employees an opportunity to have their jobs reviewed because they're doing more. This is a positive policy, and it's a positive process for employees because we will, at the end of the day, sometimes they don't get anything more, but sometimes they may get an in-range increase within their grade and make a little bit more money for doing more for the college. And sometimes they do take on more difficult responsibilities, and it does warrant an upgrade or a change in title. Those are the results that
So
I've
that's
seen.
what this is about for the performance of upgrading
Yes.
versus downgrading.
Yes.
So if you do run into a situation where management does remove them, it's a personnel issue from what I'm understanding.
My experience, it's always been about poor performance
Okay.
when that has happened. It's never been about this policy and how it's processed.
So then do we need the word downgrade in the policy because it's giving them the power to downgrade, in my opinion? I mean, I don't see why we need that word.
Trustee Garcia again.
I would like to point us to the last paragraph. Again, this is something that is being requested by the employee, and it's supposed to be for any priorities, any responsibilities that are changing to adjust the salary, and all of this is in accordance with our institutional procedure for those particular roles. So this is positive, and this is something that the employee is coming to their supervisor or management in order to reassess their job description and if they match, and sometimes they might not match, and that's why they're having this request. There's a committee that reviews those requests. Is that correct?
Well, it's not so much a committee, but it's human resources. So
Correct.
it does go through the chain of command, and before it comes to HR, all of the cabinet members have final look, and they can weigh in. But cabinet doesn't make the final decision on the review process. HR will review it and determine whether or not there should be an increase. It will go back to cabinet for final approval, But each cabinet member has their eyes on every review that comes to HR. And again, it's been a very positive process, and it's never resulted in a downgrade when we launch this every single year.
Thank you. No additional questions.
Trustee Lee, did you have rebuttal?
I'd like it to stay a positive process. I think downgrade should be taken out of the wording. If there has never been a downgrade that's happened, then we shouldn't need it in there, and it's only opening up an opportunity for an employee to get their feelings hurt. Because if they're going and if this is a requested process and they're going and they're saying, hey, I'm doing this, and if it's an upgraded situation, then why put the verbiage in there for a downgrade? Especially if we have a disciplinary process, that's why my original question is like, hey, don't we already have a process for this? Why does this need to be in this policy? It is my opinion that the word downgrade should simply be taken out of the policy.
I'd like to recommend for the policy committee to review this and perhaps taking that phrase downward or upward and changing that to just adjusted.
The
position
policy
may be
committee will
adjusted.
take that into consideration. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you, Mark Morrissey.
So does that mean we have to take a motion to send this back to policy committee?
Well, there's already a motion on the floor that needs to be addressed or withdrawn.
We need to withdraw the motion.
Who made
Motion
the
to
motion?
withdraw.
I think I did.
You did.
So you can make a motion to
Trustee
withdraw.
Garcia made the motion, and Trustee Harris seconded it.
Based on the comments, we will bring it back to the policy to reassess. So I would like to withdraw let me look at the words.
Motion.
My motion for 4.2.2 for the annual position review, request process for administrator, professional, or non-union employee.
Trustee Harris, do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. The motion's
we-
withdrawn.
Do we leave a motion now or just leave it?
Well, it's up for second reading, so we need a motion to send it back to committee for
I
review-
make a
for further
motion to
review.
send it back to
I'll second
committee to review it and changing the words downward or upward,
Adjusting
eliminating
it.
that and changing it to the word adjusted.
And I second that motion.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Trustee Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Bradwick?
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia again?
Quick clarification, this is to send it back, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Trustee McCollum?
Yes.
Trustee Bazinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next pulled item is 4.4, approval to transfer $900 to the GLI Travel Fund from the ACCT Travel Fund to cover the estimated final fiscal year overage.
So move.
Second.
I have a concern. Last year, we had to do the same thing of moving money from the ICCTA, or from the ACCT to the ICCTA because it was short 1,700, and the GLI was short 600. All the community colleges are putting it in as a pool, not dividing it out, because now you're making it impossible that we have to switch money around, and some of us can't go to things. I mean, I asked to go to the lobby days, not the lobby days, the ICCTA conference, June 6th and 7th, and I felt, I don't have enough money. But I've never used my ACCT money, but I don't have enough to go, so I can't go, even though I'm on the awards committee and the executive committee. It doesn't make any sense. If all the other schools are putting it in a pool, let's put it in a pool so everyone can ask what they need, and it's not for entertainment purposes, it's for educational purposes. And that is what I think the budget committee, or the finance committee should look at, and it should be put in as a pool. So I don't think we should be voting for this, because every year we're voting for it, moving the funds around. Let's leave it in one lump sum, and it doesn't have to come to the board at all.
Any other comments or questions?
I'm ready to vote.
We're ready to vote.
No, I do have a comment. I also will be voting no because you treat some trustees differently than other trustees, and then in particularly wrote the budget so that you could keep her and I from conferences. I agree with that. And so then you put it in here to transfer the money around so that the trustees you want to go to certain events get to go. And I vote no as well.
And just as I mentioned before, can I rebut?
Yes.
Just as I mentioned before, okay, there are activities that a lot of your trustees go to that it's under sponsor fees. Those of us that aren't under and ask for sponsor fees get hit with it on the the individual accounts, the individual community engagement accounts. We run out of $350. Oh, you can't go. But the other trustees have gone and gone and gone to all of them, over 30 that I've counted, that I've got a list of. It's just not fair. It needs to be in a total dollar amount pool, not separated out.
We used to have it in a total dollar amount pool. And we had a certain trustee who decided she was gonna go to everything. And we ran out of money at the end of the year anyway, and there was no money to move back and forth because she would get in front of the board, say, well, you're all entitled to go, you're all entitled to go, and then there'd be no money. And it was through that person who actually suggested we split it into the categories. We split it into the categories, and the same person is now upset that it's split into categories. This has been approved, it works. If you believe there's inclusion, go back to the policy that talks about good standing, go back to the policy about sponsorships, where Dr. Newell makes the decision on who goes. It's at his discretion who goes to these things. He normally picks people on the staff. He does pick trustees to fill seats, but as far as you not going to those, trustees in good standing.
I believe that policy that has Dr. Namuo choosing where a trustee goes is is a violation of his contract, because in his contract it says that trustees choose where he goes and are supposed to vote on that. So that's actually probably a violation of his contract, FYI.
And if you have this good standing, which is how the number of people here vote, of the board members, when you get reelected and you have over 25,000 people that support you, I think you need to look at it, because now you're making a judgment on us. And when the people have voted, the voters have voted.
Point of order, we are going way off 4.4. That's not even a discussion item.
The discussion is to keep it as a lump sum. And I never asked it to be separated
That's not
out.
even the discussion item for clarification. The item that we need to vote on is the approval to transfer that particular dollar amount. That's it.
When did you become chair?
We're ready to vote.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
No.
Trustee Garcia Gann.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
No.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Buzinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
$4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
Approval of amendment to the intergovernmental and development agreement between the Village of Romeoville and JJC dated December 23rd, 2015.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Yeah, triple
We
time.
all just love
Triple time.
sidewalks.
This is where you all ask questions.
Any questions, comments? Are we ready to vote? We're ready to vote.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Garcia Gann.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Buzinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4.6.1, censure of
I'd
trust.
like to make a motion for 4.6.1, 4.6.2, and 4.6.3 to be tabled.
Second.
So this is the motion we're voting on to see if we want to table these three items. Trustee Broderick.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
No.
Trustee Garcia Gann.
No.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
No.
Trustee McCollum.
Yes.
Trustee Buzinski.
No.
The motion fails. They have not been tabled.
Item 4.6.1, the censure of trustee Maureen Broderick for comments made to the Joliet City Council on April 20th, 2026 during public comments in which she identified herself as a Joliet Junior College trustee and stated on behalf of the Board of its trustee its opposition to a matter on the city's agenda in violation of Board Policies 010100 and 01.03.00, as well as Model Standards of Good Practice for Trustees, Trustee Boards, numbers 8 and 10.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, let's get it straight on this, because this is just, I've had all the Joliet council call me about this, and the paper, and the county board members who said, you never said that. I never said Joliet Junior College. I never said I opposed it, and it passed. So everybody's wondering why you're bullying me on these things that are not true. I never did any of that, and I never said I was opposed to it, because I had the council members say to me, you never said it, you just stated facts. And this was never an item on the agenda either. So I don't know where you're coming up with all of this, and I'm gonna say crap, because it is. I'm tired of being the one that's targeted for all these darn censures. And if you guys vote for it, I hope you listen to it, because I gave you a full email on everything related to this. I never said it.
We're ready to vote.
I have a comment to make. I would just like for the public to know that a very similar situation happened where JJC sent employees to go to a Joliet Township meeting or Joliet City Council meeting and to represent JJC and say, we support data centers. And another trustee, Trustee Morales, was there and said, I am a trustee from JJC and I do not agree with this and I don't remember it being brought to the board, which is something that often happens where they send representatives from Joliet Junior College to support something that the board knows nothing about. I also, as a board member, do not support the data centers and cannot believe that we sent representatives to go and talk about that when it was never brought to this board. And I also do not believe that this topic was ever brought to the board thoroughly enough for us to talk about it, to know that you yourself, so you can go and you, Chair, were there to represent the board, right? So you can go to these meetings with JJC employees to represent the board when the board wasn't brought in on this. But Maureen can't simply go to those same meetings, not with if anybody violated and should be getting censured, it should be you for violating this board on this particular topic. Because it was not brought to the board for us to all say, hey, there was not specifically what was being voted on that night. There has been conversations around the topic, but not specifically what was being voted on that night. And you, for going with the administration, should be being censured, not Maureen Broderick. And if Maureen is going to be censured for standing up for and saying her public comment before, then so should Alicia. Just like the newspaper said, this is double standard, and you are continuously targeting Maureen Broderick because she is continuously standing up for this college and trying to alert the community and what is going on and what this administration is not being transparent on. Thank God you guys voted her back in. Keep voting her back in.
Comment. Thank you for your comments, Trustee Lee and Trustee Broderick. So I also attended that meeting, and I clearly said that yes, I am a trustee, but I am not here on that capacity. I live in Joliet, and I'm here to speak at my council meeting on a subject that is open to public comment, and I spoke as a private citizen. And I have the recording I can forward to you all. So I just want to clarify that. But if the board expects trustees to refrain from implying they speak on behalf of the board without authorization, we should also clarify the authority under which high-level administrators communicate positions at city council meetings that may be perceived as institutional endorsements. The remarks made by this high-level employee emphasized the college's workforce development mission, which is a fundamental and widely understood role of any community college. Okay, the comments did not provide new information about the college's mission, but instead appeared to use that mission as a rationale for expressing institutional support for a data center. So I think we need to, today, what we're being asked to vote on, and I watched the video of Trustee Broderick, and I did, and it's there for anybody to look at. And yes, she did identify as a trustee. Everything that is being said here is factual, but I think that leaves opportunity for the policy committee to also research how we're going to handle when high-level staff members go, and there were students at that meeting, at the city council meeting. We were there till past midnight, and students were very upset about the college taking a position on that. It was not necessary, and they did. When you say workforce, it's common sense. It's obvious. We all know that we're here for workforce development. Okay, but to go there at that, the context of it gave the appearance that yes, we are here supporting the data center. So let's get back to what these items on the agenda are tonight and, break them down specifically and vote on them.
I did not say my name, and I did not say Joliet Junior College. It's nowhere in the transcript. I said I'm a college trustee. I didn't say a community college trustee. I said I'm a trustee. That was it. And you know what? They all knew who I was. So the known factor was there. I was speaking as myself and what Bob Wonder
You didn't
was
say that, though. You didn't say you were there on your own as your own person. You did not say that.
I did
Can we
the
please
I.
stop the
I said
cross
I.
It's okay.
I said I. This is getting to be really nothing but more than we're constantly putting ourselves out there as JJC is nothing but a problem.
Okay, so can
We're
we
never
talk
gonna
about-
get rid of this dysfunctionality if we
Maureen-
don't stop this.
Can I ask a question? So, okay, I understand what you're saying, so you could have did a better idea. You said I'm a trustee. You could have did a better idea saying I am here in my own capacity to speak in my own. So that's what you did apparently wrong, and they're going to censure you on for tonight. But what I'm saying is, what about the fact that our chair was at this very same meeting with public,
No, the next day meeting.
with somebody from JJC to support a topic? Was the rest of the board aware that the chair was going to go to a meeting to support this topic? Because if not, can we talk about that in the policy committee? Because I don't agree. I don't believe we received an email. And what about when you, after she went to the data centers, you know what they did? They took her on a tour of the data centers. The president and the employees here, they took her on a tour of the data centers, guys. I wonder why they didn't. Did they ask the rest of us if we wanted to go on tours of data centers? Or no, only the trustees that went to go speak up against it, right? I wonder why.
I believe the chairman observes the right to represent. He's the voice that represents the board.
Not
so
if only after we have voted on something, not beforehand. That was underhanded that he went before a meeting, before we voted on something, to represent the college with college representatives.
And I did not wear anything that said JJC on my shirt.
Next
Because
time
that
you
was brought to
say
my
you're
attention
speaking
too
in
with
your
the picture that was
capacity,
in the Herald
Maureen.
News. So I didn't do that, and I didn't glorify that. And everyone is looking at this as continuous harassment.
Go back and watch the video, please,
I
because in
did.
it, you do describe yourself as a JJC trustee, and the phrase you always use, you says, "I'm the senior member."
Yep.
You
I
said
said
that.
a senior member, but senior
Yes,
member of what?
but that's what
Senior
you
member
are.
of what?
But on top of it, what was your purpose of being there?
My purpose of being there was the planning commission never put the change date on there. And that's what I said, and that was the only reason I really got up there. But then, when they were like all going through it, they asked, and I said, we never had it brought before us. We never had this vote before us. What came before us was the easement, only the easement.
it's not for us to vote on. It's up to the city. It's not something that we have the authority over.
But both Jim and Dr. Farmer got up there giving him as if it was for that. Because all the board members thought that it was approved by the board. And I said, no. The only thing we ever heard about.
We don't have to approve it. It's not up to us to approve.
No, but the thing was, the board members were not satisfied on Monday. On Tuesday, when they came in and Dr. Farmer and Jim spoke to them, they understood it to be that the board approved the amendment to the PUD. The PUD and the easement are two different things. And that's what I just said, is the easement, that was the only thing we did, was the easement.
That's all we have to do.
Yeah, but you can't make the board council think that we approved the amendment. We didn't.
I get
We had
it.
nothing to do with it. And then on Tuesday, when Jim gets there, he says the board was fully aware of it. The only time we were fully aware of it was in closed session. So stuff that he said was in closed session. So I didn't violate closed session, he did. So he should be censured.
We're ready to vote.
Can I add?
Yes, so trustee.
I like seriously struggle with this because like frankly, what is this going to accomplish? How many other censures have there been placed on Trustee Broderick? Do I like the way that she and other trustees have portrayed themselves at public meetings? No, but I do think that there's a distinct difference between making a comment during a public comment period and exercising your right as a citizen and stating as such that you're there as an individual person versus sitting there after public comment is closed when you're actively watching city council go ahead and begin to discuss something. When you then have a council member, Councilwoman Quillman, go ahead and go, Maureen, I see you're waving as a trustee. Do you want to come up and say something? And then stand up and says, I'm, as a senior member of a board.
No, I didn't say that at first.
Whatever the direct quote is, I digress. The gist is standing up saying, all these people know who I am. All these people, you don't directly, it's implied that people know who you are. That people understand that you are a senior member of this board, but also claiming that, like, well, no one knows who I am. No one knows what I'm doing. You can't have this both ways. You stood up, you represented what your experience was in how we were or were not informed in this. Frankly, I'm glad we don't deal with PUDs and zoning at the community college board. If I wanted to do that, if I wanted to litigate these conversations, I would run for city council or I'd ask to be appointed to a zoning board. But for God's sake, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna rehash this and we're gonna do it 2 times. And frankly, why? Why are we going to do this 3 times? Because there's already centers that exist. They haven't stopped anything. What's going to be learned from this? Absolutely nothing. Is anything going to change? No. It is 10:50 p.m. We are on the first center. We're going to do this 2 more times. So frankly, I look around and I think, what a waste of time. At what point are trustees on this board going to learn what appropriate behavior is? Going to learn how we should treat each other with respect? As one of the youngest members of this board, it drives me absolutely insane. The lack of decorum, the lack of respect we hold for each other. I'm ashamed. All of us should be ashamed. And we're going to go
out of
ahead
time
and
you
we
are
are
not
going to
beeping at
vote
her,
on this.
but you
Excuse
beep
me,
at us.
I am speaking, Trustee Lee. Again, I've been respectful of every other trustee as they have spoken tonight. I would request the exact same for me. We might not always agree, and that's fine, but please, let's respect each other. Jesus Christ.
And I think this just keeps continuing to bring negativity to each board member.
Then change your behavior.
You know what, Jim?
I
Change your
apologize,
bullying tactics and your
bottomly. I didn't
harassment.
realize that you weren't out of time. I am
Time
really
is up.
sorry about that.
Point of
I
order,
saw
point of
that, and
order.
I thought that they were moving the
Michelle,
timer for
point of
you
order,
and
Michelle
doing,
Lee, Trustee Lee.
We're
I'm
ready to
sorry.
vote.
I really didn't mean that.
Let's take the vote.
Trustee Garcia Guillen.
This is to censure trustee Broderick, correct?
Correct.
4.6.1.
Okay, yes.
Trustee Bottomley.
Yes.
Trustee Broderick.
No.
Trustee Harris.
Since this is another censure added to the 12 censures she currently has, I mean, it doesn't matter. I would say no, because the others will still stand.
Trustee Lee.
No.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee McCollum.
Abstain.
Trustee Bazinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys that voted yes. This is just bringing more negativity. to
Out of
JJC.
order.
I know.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Who motioned?
Bottomly.
And who seconded?
Broderick.
This is the motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
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 Let's see, you two, motion carries. We're adjourned. 10:53.